What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Wednesday. This is Infinite Talk, but my co-host is going to be a little late. So I figured I'll hang out with you guys for a few minutes. We may have a surprise guest as well. That'll be fun if they choose to stop by. I'm trying not to give it away if it's a woman or if it's a man. That's why I said they, but they don't go by they, them pronouns. I'm just saying it's a them because I wanted to. Anyways, you get it. You get it. First off, I want to thank Deranged Lunatic for the membership message. Thank you for sending me a bunch of flowers. They were so cute. Flower emojis. I am Christmas ready, as you guys can see, because I love Christmas. I just wanted to let everybody know that I love Christmas. If you can't tell already. Looks like Santa Claus threw up in my office, but that's fine. It's totally cool. 2 to 1 Studios. Hi, it's been a minute. Hi. For $2 as Will Harrison Ford be on screen 75% of Indy 5? Ooh, I don't think so. I don't know. But I did just read, and oh my God, just because you brought this up, like I wasn't even planning on putting this in the show, but now it's just like we're gonna have to like just go over it for a second. Because my friend Anne on Twitter sent me this, and I was like, "What the f?" Because the reason I'm bringing it up is because you brought up Indy 5, and we know that Phoebe Waller-Bridge is very involved with that. But guess what else she's gonna be involved with now? That's right, Doctor Who. Like, who could have seen this coming? I didn't, but apparently, that's apparently part of the plan. Now, this is all part of a huge effort. BBC bosses draft in Phoebe Waller-Bridge to help reboot Doctor Who and turn it into a super brand, as if it wasn't already. Following Fleabag creators' success with James Bond Smash. No Time to Die. If by smash meaning cucking James Bond, yeah, I guess, because he got fucking totally smashed. He got cooked in his last freaking movie. So this is a thing now. Apparently, Phoebe Waller-Bridge is going to be involved in the new Doctor Who because, I mean, why the fuck not, right? I mean, what? Like, it's not as if freaking Doctor Who, the brand, is not freaking dead and they're trying to like resurrect it. They're trying to like freaking push life into this IP by being like, okay, you know what? We're going to bring back David Tennant. We're going to give you the doctor that you love. We're going to bring him back just so that you can have just one last ditch effort of wanting to see the doctor again because all of you left because we hired a woman to take over the role. But now we're going to bring in another woman. At least she's not going to be the doctor. Maybe? I don't know. We'll see. BBC bosses are reportedly set to sign Phoebe Waller-Bridge to help reboot Doctor Who ahead of the new series, according to The Sun. The Fleabag creator. Has anyone even watched this show? Because I haven't. Is it good? Everybody I've talked to says it's not. But it's like, what? So yeah, 2 to 1 Studios, you set me off on. This wasn't even planned to be part of the show, but now it is. Now it is. Because I just clicked on The Sun by accident. Get the fuck out of here, The Sun. Tonight is one of those nights, guys. I'm just like, what is happening in this world? Let's see. An insider told the publication that this is part of a huge effort. We already read that. But as part of that reinvention, they also want writing which will match the investment they're making in the show. And Phoebe is considered to be one of the best in the business. So she's going to be writing for the new Doctor Who. Dr. Shooty, who is going to be written by Phoebe Waller-Bridge. That's right. You heard it here first, folks. Deranged Lunatic says, for $1.99, Fleabag, more like hoe bag. Ouch. Damn. God. My goodness. As if Doctor Who could not be worse off right now. It's a question of whether they can come up with a strong enough deal to entice her to Doctor Who, given that she'll be constantly swapped with efforts from around the world. So wait, she's not signed in yet? She's going to be, I guess. She's not a for sure thing. Mail Online have contacted reps of the BBC and Phoebe for comment. Phoebe was reportedly brought in as a scriptwriter for 007's final outing, which sucked, to ensure that the blockbuster was appropriate for the Me Too era and included full-rounded female characters. What a line. What a line right here. Yeah, that's exactly what the new James Bond was. That's exactly what the new James Bond was. It was a fucking mess. It was like, what? And I didn't even think I hated it at the beginning. Like I actually gave it a pretty positive review when I reviewed it. But then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I can't believe that was James Bond's ending. Like, and the ending to the Daniel Craig Bond era. That like, it's like, you know, when you review a movie on first like seeing, you kind of see like all the positives about it. And then you kind of go, wait a minute, what the F did I just watch? Like once the novelty wears off, and then you're like, wait, what? What was that? Like how was it that Anna de Armas was like the best part of that movie and she was in it for like 5 minutes? I don't know, but that was the case. Daniel Craig gushed about her, blah, blah, blah. She's just brilliant. She's just brilliant. Who's not brilliant in Hollywood? Can someone tell me? Like somebody, like, it's just, you know how like they're always stroking everyone's ego? Like, who's not brilliant? I don't know. Bird Up for 5 says, what they couldn't get Jessica Gao to write for Doctor Who. Stop it. Stop it, Bird Up. How dare you? How dare you?
Stop it. Get some help.
True and What Studios for 5 says she's like an industry tick burrowing into everything the J.J. Abrams of her ilk. Svengali. Oh my God, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's like, she's just brilliant. Like, what about her is brilliant except for the fact that she ruins everything? I had my first eye on her since the first Fleabag. I've never seen Fleabag. I can't comment on that. And then I saw her, and then I saw Killing Eve. I heard Killing Eve was good. And what she did with that was just wanted her voice. With Russell T. Davis returning as Doctor Who showrunner, the popular sci-fi franchise is also said to get a record-breaking new budget after the BBC signed an exciting new deal with Disney Plus. How exciting, you guys! Disney Plus. Yay! Bob Iger. I don't know. Sources told Broadcast Magazine the budget is set to be increased from 1 to 3 million per episode to a staggering 10 million per installment when the show returns next. Holy shlomoly at that number. Where are they? Oh my God. This is going to be great content for us, you guys. This is going to be, I mean, I can't wait till Gary and Az hear about this. This is great. I think. Well, maybe not great for, the fans, but it's great for YouTube. Sources told the publication that the ramping up of production values and investment from Disney Plus is an attempt to help the show find success in the U.S. You know what they would... This always reminds me of Community's version of Doctor Who, Inspector Spacetime, when they did like the American version. So stupid. The reported budget would break BBC records and see Doctor Who become its most expensive series, surprising the previous record holder is His Dark Materials, which is actually good and I'm actually excited about. It starts December 5th, you guys, season 3, which had a budget of around $6 million per episode due to its HBO collaboration. But damn, the 10 million per installment, 10 million per episode with Disney involved. I mean, now Bob Iger is coming back, and like, I mean, I don't know. Like, is this going to be affected? Like, is his return going to affect this situation? I have no idea. But I guess contracts have already been signed. Things have probably happened already that I don't know about. Blah blah blah. Disney Plus. Russell T. Davis said of the collaboration, I love this show, and this is the best of both worlds with the vision and joy of BBC and Disney Plus together. We can launch the TARDIS all around the planet, reaching new generations of fans while keeping our traditional home on the BBC in the UK. Not saying much about Phoebe. So yeah, there you go. Apparently, Phoebe Waller-Bridge will possibly be signing on as a writer for the new Doctor who is coming to America via Disney Plus. How exciting is this, you guys? Oh my God. Doctor Who on Disney Plus. Yay. As if you can't tell, I'm being sarcastic. Just saying. Torgo, thank you for the $2 saying football news is unbreaded. I think that's what you're saying. Thank you for that. Unbreaded is funny. So there you go. That was a bit of sidetrack from what I intended to start the show with, but that was fun. Wow, what a mess. What an absolute mess for Doctor Who. Let me check on something here. I just want to check out something. Okay. So there you go. That was that. Now, here is another thing that I want to bring your attention to before John gets here. And I mean, when John gets here, I'll probably talk about it too. But if you guys have a Twitter, I am calling on all of you guys to go to my account, Nina7Infinity, or to Mark Carlos, and retweet this at Twitter support Elon Musk. Let's try and get the attention of Twitter support because my good friend Carrie Smith, who is a lovely woman, she is amazing. I love Carrie. She's super smart, super intelligent, beautiful, kind, just a well-rounded human being, a good human, has been locked out of her Twitter account because of her profile image, which is a photo of herself, which they are claiming promotes graphic violence or adult content. And so they have locked her out of her account based on this beautiful image of her, which, I mean, I guess if you consider fur murder, maybe it could be considered graphic violence. But I mean, like, it's not like she's like sitting on a lion's head or something. And I'm pretty sure it's fake. I mean, that's a freaking stretch. But it has to be some type of mistake. I don't know what's going on. I do know that Carrie has insane haters who probably flagged her account. And I don't know, or this could be some sort of glitch. But if you guys could please go to Twitter, I've retweeted Mike. If you guys can go there and retweet Mike or retweet me, let's try and get her account back. I do like Ryan's comment here saying she looks too fierce. That might be true. I mean, I get that because Carrie's amazing. But yeah, so there's a lot of people already trying to get the attention of Twitter. But yeah, let's do that. Let's do that, you guys. Let's go out there and get Elon's attention and get people's attention to reinstate Carrie. Free Carrie, hashtag free Carrie Smith. Here is mine, just so you guys can see. Well, let me see if I go to quote tweets. There's only like 50 quote tweets. Hang on. Let me go to my account. Do. Okay. Also, I have a lot of topics to talk to you guys about tonight. It's going to be a great show. So I said this has to be a mistake. Elon, please have someone look into this issue. Carrie is a lovely woman who has been fighting the battle against free speech for a long time. And like, if you go to her account, this is what it shows too. Like her account says the Carrie Smith account is temporarily unavailable because it violates Twitter media policy, and it's like literally written like all over. So I don't know if this is some sort of hack, or this is some weird mistake, or I don't know what this is, but it needs to be remedied immediately. So if I go to Carrie Smith's account right now, yeah, see, this is what you see. Like her picture is gone, and like this is what you see now. So I mean, like technically, I think she can come back if she deletes the thing, but what the hell though? That's really dumb. Bird Up for 5 says they nailed her for the fur. Guaranteed. Twitter twats don't care if it's fake. Anyway, retweeted. Really? You think it's the fur? That's crazy. Like that'll talk. Like I'll make sure to note never to wear fur on Twitter. Apparently, like that's murder or something. I don't know. I mean, I eat animals. Is that murder? Well, I guess kind of, according to them. I don't care. I'm not going vegan. I'm going to keep eating meat. So yeah, but thank you for the $5. Okay. Next up, I want to talk to you for a minute, I guess, before John shows up, about this other thing that's going on with me right now. I have a calendar campaign going. It's my cosplay calendar. It's there's only 6 days left, and we've made it across the halfway point. So this is that's really amazing. I'm kind of speechless about how much support I got with this. And it's been a very one-sided like support. Like there's so much support. One or two comments like I'll see here and there where it's not supportive, but it's like I can't, in the eye of how much support I've gotten, I just can't even let that get to me or phase me, because this has just been overwhelmingly positive. And I thank everybody for supporting it. If you have already, thank you so much. And if you haven't, please share on social media that this is still going on. There's another 6 days left. And of course, you can get the blue tier comes with the calendar itself. The yellow tier comes with the calendar and the poster. The poster will be probably the main picture that we choose for the calendar. And then the red tier, which comes with the calendar, the poster, and an art book, which will include 18 bonus photos in addition to the 12 calendar photos. So right now, this is my fake cosplay that I did. I did it because I wanted to prove that you can wear this outfit and take pictures and stuff. Because Netflix didn't do it right. So I did that. And of course, I've always loved to cosplay stuff. So I do that. This is my, I do it usually in Halloween, where it's acceptable for adults to do it. So I just, this is my Lara Croft that I did last year. And this is some of the artsy stuff that we'll be doing, or stuff like it. Right now, the list is Faye Valentine, Lara Croft, Sailor Moon, Tifa, the video game version. I mean, Triss, the video game version, not the Netflix ugly version. Chun-Li, Supergirl, Punisher, Ninja Girl, Talia al Ghul, Red Sonja, and Christmas Elf. And of course, this is subject to change just in case we can't get some of the costumes. I have another list, which is like the backup list. Now, having said this, this is an all or nothing campaign. So that means if you fund it, it'll happen. And if you don't, nobody gets charged. And like basically it doesn't happen. But that's okay, because I already have a backup plan for those people, for that 87, like the 87 contributors to this campaign showed me how much you guys want to, get my posters and stuff like that. So I have a backup plan, which I will announce once the campaign ends. And if it gets funded, great. We're going to do the calendar. It's going to be amazing. And that plan will also go into effect. But just in case it doesn't, I have a backup plan that I'm going to announce, and it's going to be amazing. You guys are it's going to be amazing. It's going to be great. Going to love it. It's going to be fantastic. I promise. It's going to be amazing. Now there's a few people, like I've heard this a couple times, where some people are like, hey, you should do you should do a calendar with that Star Wars girl, or you should do a calendar with, so and so, or who and whoever else. And I would love to. It's not that I don't. I would love to. It's just that usually when you do this kind of stuff, you have to be like IRL. Like you have to be IRL in order to coordinate everything and do the photo shoot and stuff like that. And so logistics is the issue, I think, at least for me, because I'm in Mexico and everybody else is in the States. So that is one of the reasons that we're not collabing versus like them doing their own thing and me doing my own thing. But I would love to collab with them. Like if there's an ever opportunity to, I would take it in a heartbeat, because I think that we're all awesome and I think we would kill it. That's like, it's not like there's no reason like, oh, we're not doing it because we don't like each other or something like that, or like we're competing or something. I think like Chrissy was talking about like doing a Simcast calendar, which I think is a great idea. But like, again, like to get me to do it with them, I don't know how that would work. I mean, I could take pictures and send it to them and they can edit it into the calendar, but I don't know if that would work if I'm like over here and they're over there and then they're getting together for a photo shoot. I don't know how that would work. So that's the only problem, because as of right now, I still can't enter the United States because the CDC, that's all I have to say about that. Okay. So that is the update. The other update from me is that I had an amazing mini vacation on Isla Mujeres, which I uploaded a little short video about, because I went to like this island where you drive around golf carts all over the island, and it's amazing and it's really fun. So check that out. 201 Studios for $2 says burlesque calendar, Nina. Let's go. You know what? I did think about not burlesque, but I did think about maybe next year doing like if this cosplay calendar doesn't work out, maybe next year I'll do like something else, like maybe like a pinup calendar, which will be kind of similar to burlesque, but not really like burlesque. It'll be like a pinup, like from different eras kind of thing. But that was just like just a thought. Like I don't know if I'm gonna do it or not, but just thinking about different types of stuff that I could do. It'll be cool, I think. But yeah, I'll have to see. I'll have to see if that happens or not. And with that said, are you good? Are you good to go? Yes? No? Maybe so? I'm going to bring in my co-host, John Talks. Hello. Hi. Hey, we're live.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but you're not on the right mic.
Hey, how's it going, Nina?
Good.
Sorry, let me get the audio right here.
It's all good.
All right, how's that sound?
Still the same.
Okay.
200 Watt Studios, that's not ever happening. Stop it. This is for you, 200 Watt Studios. Hang on. I'm finding my clip for you, 200 Watt Studios.
Better?
Much better. There you are.
Stop it. Get some help.
That's for you, 200 Watt Studios. Oh my God, 200 Watt Studios. Last week you weren't at Infinite Hope and I had the best turtle video ever and you missed it. And I was like, why isn't 200 Watt Studios here for this turtle video? But you weren't, but it's okay. I think I saved it for this week. So if you're there this week, I'll play it for you. Hi, John. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. How are you doing, Nina?
I'm good. Look, Santa Claus threw up in my office.
Looking good.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's
Merry Christmas.
Man,
dude.
that's
kind
very
of
festive. Yeah, we're close enough. They're
getting
gonna start playing Christmas music, so
they've already started here. Like they started like a week ago.
really.
Yeah. So I was like, might as
Yeah.
well.
It feels like they start earlier. I feel like after Halloween. Well, in the retail space, it seems like
it's always after Halloween in retail space. But okay, so I have so much to talk about tonight. So let's get right into it. But we'll start with the Bobs first. So did you hear about Bob Iger returning as Disney's CEO?
I'm not surprised. I think we definitely talked about this at one point or another. Like, well, I said that I think Bob Chapek is he's the fall guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's there to look bad because it's going to be a rough, turbulent time for Disney, especially, you know, during the pandemic. And then look who reappears, you know, perfect timing.
Bob Iger.
Yeah.
He's here.
Well, he's running. It sounds like he wants to run for president. So it's like he could not look bad. He did not want to have a bad
do you think he's still wanting to run for president after this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm sure. If it's like somebody who says they will, you know, basically they've alluded to it. They've talked about it.
But
I don't feel like that's an ambition. No, not 2024. He might be thinking 2028.
But isn't he already like 80? Like,
no, Bob Iger is not. Guy? Bob Iger isn't that old.
Wait,
he's
how old
probably,
is he?
Let's see.
Bob Iger is 71 years old.
Okay, well,
that's pretty old, man.
Like, okay, I mean,
so like 8 years.
Biden's 80 though, but I have to say Bob Iger looks like he's in way better shape than Biden.
Though Biden was in really good well, not really
good shape,
but in better shape when he was under Obama. Like at least he could make sentences,
right?
Like, you know, at least he wasn't like, where am I? Of like 5 seconds. I don't know.
I have a feeling that Bob Iger probably takes care of himself better than Joe Biden did.
I agree.
You know, it seems like Joe was kind of, you know, he was carrying maybe a little extra weight. I mean, who's to say? I don't know. But I do think that Bob Iger has probably got a better routine than Joe Biden did.
Probably. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he lies less. I don't know. But he does seem like a bit of a liar too.
I mean, come on. Anybody that wants to, there's got to be a certain level of insanity going on if you want to be the president.
If you want to run for politics.
Yeah.
Mind you, okay, so there was a meeting, and this is what this article, but shout out to Bounding Into Comics.
I want to say hello to the chat, by the way. I know I didn't get the chance to do that.
Yeah,
sorry.
Please. But, and also tell them who you are, because maybe they've forgotten you.
My channel is John Talks. I make silly political videos. Maybe someday I'll make other kinds of videos, but maybe 2023. Maybe that'll be the year.
Well, it's so funny that you were like a trendsetter when it comes to Twitter. I mean, YouTube, because okay, when you upload your videos, you upload them as regular videos, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they've been trying to push these like shorts forever, and it's like you were like such a trendsetter. You're like, I'm just gonna start doing like 30-second videos.
Well, there was other channels and other people that have done it before, but yeah, I mean, if you're gonna I would say they're starting to finally monetize shorts, but if you're gonna do short form content, I don't know. I haven't really. Well, basically, I'll say this: they're finally monetizing it, so there's some incentive to actually do them. But before, I just didn't see the point because
it's working out for you, though, right?
Oh yeah.
There you
go. For now,
it's good. It's
everything's good. Everything's for a time.
I did notice that you made one of your videos about my tweet, and I was like, oh my God, my tweet is in the John Talks.
I did. I recommended your channel, but I forgot to pin. I don't think I pinned that comment. I went back and I'm like, oh, I finally pinned the comment. So maybe you might have got a few subscribers. I don't know.
There's this one guy, and I'm not going to name names because I don't want to name this guy. But this dude keeps stealing your videos, and then
I know who you're talking about.
And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And I've told him a couple of times on Twitter, this is JT's, stop it, just just stop it. but he keeps doing it, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I've
Is it-
almost mentioned something to him, but at the end of the day, I mean, I borrow content from other creators too.
Yeah, but you
I
always
do
give
try to.
credit.
Well, I at least like want their watermarks or their names to be mentioned. So it's visible. So if anybody wants to follow them, they
Well,
can.
so I have a suggestion for you though.
Sure.
So like I think what you should do, because he always does it, and then he always has like your, like the like, share, and subscribe thing. You got to start putting like John Talks at the bottom of that. Like you got to put your logo or something.
Yeah, I could, I suppose, but at the end of the day, I'm just not sweating it. Like it's going to happen, whatever. If other people benefit from it, I'm just kind of at a point where, because I've had people ask too, do you mind if I re-upload these? And ultimately I know they're probably not going to be stealing that many views from me, so I don't necessarily have a problem.
You're a good guy.
Well, the thing,
It bothers me. I'm always like,
yeah, but it's like when you're doing, so far the channel's been doing great. So it's like, I'm not going to get, I don't want to say I would be getting greedy. I feel like it's justified to protect your work and, but at the end of the day, if other people enjoy it and, perhaps it's eye-opening for other people, then you know what, so be it. Like I've just kind of made that decision where, sure, at times it's been a little bit frustrating because you put the work into the video and then somebody just re-uploads it as if it's theirs.
yes, that would bother me. I'd be like, yo, man, what the?
Yeah, like at least in the tweet below or something in the thread, like just let people know. But
yeah, you
when they
can absolutely be like, by this person. Like you can, like on Twitter, the way that he, like the person that does it uploads it, it's like you can absolutely be like, original video by blah blah blah, but he never does it, and it bothers me. And I'm like,
it kind of goes back though to the fact that I wouldn't have as much great content. Like in some ways, I'm just a curator of content too. There's a certain creativity to some things, but also, I take things that people have done that I think are great. And, I just kind of put a bunch of those things together in some of my videos. So, and hopefully that, some people, wind up following them. And perhaps I could be a little bit more, it's just kind of a lot to keep track of. And
I understand
if you're going to credit every single person, but that's why that's why people watermark their work. And, and hopefully, and I think at the end of the day too, because a lot of those creators are pretty big in their own right, that, they just, they're already doing fine. And the fact that their work gets seen is, I'm sure, that's how I feel about it. So
I get it.
That's where I'm at with it.
That's cool. All right. Well, back to Bob. So Bob returned, and then he had this meeting, like a town hall. And it was basically said, like, he said a bunch of stuff, and they asked him about like the Don't Say Gay bill. They asked him about a bunch of stuff. Where did I put that thing? Hang on. Because it's in this article. There it is. Okay, hold on. We're just going to bring up the video and then listen to what he had to say because I don't feel like reading. But he basically said nothing, really. He was like, we're going to basically keep doing what we've been doing. And I think it's hilarious that a lot of people are like, oh my God, like, Disney's saved now because Bob Iger has returned. And I'm like, he's literally going to do nothing. Okay. But okay, so he says, and this says, in response to the so-called Don't Say Gay legislation, Iger said Disney would still promote inclusion, but suggest that the company must strike a delicate balance and listen to its audience and have respect for the people that it's serving. That is a retreat. Yeah, that's not true.
All right.
Hold on. Let's see.
Right, another virtual question. What is your stance on the Don't Say Gay situation?
Well, first of all,
our LGBTQ employees are very important to us, and we care deeply about them. That is a given.
How about our employees? Like, do they have to be LGBT? Like, okay.
You get special points though. You
Like,
know, for being
just extra point. Point to Gryffindor.
Secondly, this company has been telling stories for 100 years, and those stories have had a meaningful, positive impact on the world. And one of the reasons they've had a meaningful, positive impact.
But I thought they didn't, though, Bob. I thought the reason that you guys were changing things at Disney is because all of your shit was old and crap and colonizing, and now you had to like revamp everything and tell it in a new light. Like I thought all your content was shit, Bob. I don't know. Isn't that what you got from Disney, like old movies?
Well, they have walked back some things, but I mean the new stuff has been pretty bad. They've got what's this new movie, Strange World? Maybe it's appropriately titled because it's so woke. I mean, it's bombing at the box office. Like Disney, whoever was in charge of that, it's mind-boggling how out of touch they are with the average American family, let alone even overseas. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. How much money did they lose on this film?
Wow. They first said it was like 100 and what was it? 100 million. Now it says Strange World to lose 147. And why theatrical was best decision for Doomed 2, not Disney Plus. Like they're trying to like they're like, please.
They're trying to make the kids gay. Not the frogs, the kids.
Well, and they're trying to like look at this headline though, because everyone's like, why would you release this in theatrical release and not just literally everyone's been saying this. Like, why would
it cost them, I think, what, 200 million?
Something like that, yeah.
The whole thing is the movie would probably have done fine had it not been, I guess, like the very first scenes or, the film. I mean, it's just kind of in your face from what I hear. And it's like, I don't know, like, do they actually think that, if half the parents in America or roughly, half the population is probably, let's just say on the conservative side, maybe the other half's on the liberal. I mean, that's already like you're losing 50% of your potential audience there at best case scenario. Plus, here's the thing, though. It's not like I would say conservatives are probably more likely to have kids, though.
That is true. That is true because
so it's like,
the other side kind of wants to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Okay.
This is weird. This is what's so crazy though, John, is I didn't hear a word about this movie.
It's almost like they wanted to keep it under wraps. I started seeing advertisements for it like right before it was getting released. Same with Black Panther Wakanda Forever though.
Oh. I saw Wakanda Forever stuff like everywhere.
Really?
Before.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel maybe I'm just out of the loop because I don't see any ads on YouTube, but
I mean, even in Mexico, I've seen Wakanda Forever ads like everywhere. I never even heard about this movie until I saw like the headlines being like, "Oh, this like Disney's losing money or whatever," and I'm like, "What is this movie?" Like the first time I read the headline, I said, "Are they talking about Star Trek?" Because they had like the Star Trek the Strange New Worlds or whatever. Mm-hmm. I was like, "Is that what they're talking about?" And then I was like, "No, wait, that's Strange New Worlds, like not Strange World, and it's not Disney." So what are we talking about? Wait, what the hell? I just had like this weird ad block thing pop up. Am I still here? I'm okay.
Oh yeah, you're here.
Okay, great. Something about ad block. Get out of here, ad blocker. Like, what the hell? No. Okay. So yeah, that is what's happening there. And then okay, so let's go back to Bob. The Bobs. He has said this to say.
Is because one of the core values of our storytelling is inclusion and acceptance and tolerance. And we can't lose that. We just can't lose that. I think about Black Panther and the impact that had on the world, or a film like Coco. I mean, I could go on, and how we actually changed the world for the good. It must continue.
Coco was Pixar.
Which
Under-
Disney does own Pixar.
Yes, but
So
it was
he's gonna
under.
take credit for it.
Yeah, but I believe that was I think that was still John Lasseter was still there when they did Coco. Was John Lasseter there?
But I think Disney bought them.
Yeah, they did. But I'm saying
Right.
like that was when.
But you're
like,
saying John Lasseter.
I'm saying that's
Lasseter's-
when he was involved and Pixar was still good. After
Sure.
like he left, Pixar is shit. Like they're not making any good content. Like what is this? This strange world thing. This is Pixar. This is the new Pixar. That's what's happening.
Well, this is technically Disney.
Oh, it's
mean,
not. It's Disney Animation. Oh my
Right,
God. This is
right.
what's happening to Disney Animation.
But
That's
Toys,
insane.
they had the Buzz Lightyear though.
That's right.
Film, and
That's right.
Parents were pissed off about
They
that
had Lightyear. That's right. And
when
it
they
was-
went.
it crashed, dude. Lightyear
And
crashed.
again, I think it's like that should have been a signal to them that parents aren't, they're not extremely woke. Not every parent takes their kids to drag events. You might have a very small percentage, but that's not your average parent. Average parent does not believe that that is child friendly or anything like that. So I don't know who. I really just don't know what is going through their minds. I think they've lost them.
I think they've lost their minds as well. I mean, it's just like it's so crazy that they just want to cater to this like one. I don't know.
3 or 4% demographic, and
Yeah.
again, this is not in any way, shape, or form throwing shade at the LGBTQ crowd, but I mean that's the reality of it. Though, is that when you look at market demographics.
Mm-hmm.
That you have a specific audience in mind, and 4% is not and granted they're not reproducing either. Okay, they're not like having kids. They have to adopt kids, and there's not a ton of those kids. So it's just like, and again, you do have probably a small percentage of parents that are like all for this, but a lot of parents out there just aren't. They're not feeling this. So I don't know why Disney, after Disney saw, Pixar's Lightyear go down in flames, why they thought that this was a good idea. It's almost like they quadrupled down by the sounds of this movie.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they care. They're just like, and this is what I'm talking about.
It's retarded.
By
It's
Bob
just-
Iger returning and being like, oh, we're gonna like, because everybody was like jumping at this, being like, oh, Bob Chapek got fired and Bob Iger is gonna come save Disney now because they're like, flushing money down the drain all the time with their weird woke content. But Bob Iger is the one that like started this weird woke content, and now he's saying that we're gonna keep going forward with the weird woke content. So I don't understand why people are like thinking that this guy is gonna save anything. It sounds like he's doubling down.
I think he says that. But if has any sense as a businessman, which I still think he should, it just wouldn't make sense to, again, so heavily handed put this stuff in there.
It's so crazy. Let's see.
It's really, I don't. Well,
let's see what else he says.
Continue. We also, when you tell stories, it's a delicate balance. You're talking to an audience, but it's also important to listen to an audience. It's important to have respect for the people that you're serving, that you're trying to reach. And
okay, so like, do you mean that you're not gonna call us racist and phobes anymore if we say your shit sucks? Like, is that what he means? Because I mean, that's one of the things that they were doing all the time. Like, like, oh, you guys don't like this chick in Star Wars? Well, maybe because you're racist. I don't know.
Yeah, it just never made any sense either. Like, yeah, let's insult our customers and potential future customers. Like, real smart. You guys are like, the problem is when you have a bunch of SJW woke warriors out there, they're not thinking in terms of the bottom line. They're just thinking in terms of agenda. And the problem is when you hire these kind of people, like they wouldn't probably even know how to balance their own checkbook. Like, they probably have like literally, I mean, Well,
It's crazy.
anyways.
And did you hear what, like, I don't know if you were listening to the show before you started, but right before you came on, I was also reading how they're going to bring in Phoebe Waller-Bridge to the new Doctor Who, and Doctor Who's also going to be on Disney Plus, and because Disney Plus joined in with the BBC to like produce Doctor Who for America, they're going to be making the episodes are going to cost now like $10 million an episode, or not
What?
dollars, actually. I guess pounds, because that was
Still, that's a lot.
that's a lot. They're jumping between
Per
1 to
episode.
3 to 10 million. And I was like, what?
Crazy.
Like, Disney doesn't have that kind of money anymore. Like, what are they doing?
Well, they've got money. Well, and plus too, they could probably whatever
that
money
kind
they
like-
lose, they could probably write off in taxes.
That's also
I
true.
guess.
That's,
So
that's also very true. I don't think
there's-
the parks are making as much money anymore, though, man. I really don't.
COVID definitely did not help.
No, they got hurt.
And not have disdain for it. That said, we're not going to make everybody happy all the time, and we're not going to try to.
Yes, you
We're
are.
certainly not going to lessen our core values in order to make everybody happy.
You've
all
already
the time.
lessened your core values, bro.
So it's complicated, and there's a balance. But I at one point I said we do what we believe is right, and then someone criticized me. You're saying, well, who are you to say that that's right? Well, when you're in a job like mine, or you are responsible for the storytelling that many of you are responsible for, you get paid to have a sense for what is right. Not everybody will agree with you.
I
Have
get
a
paid.
sense. Here's the only sense that makes sense in business is dollars and cents, Bob. Like really, I mean, that ought to be an indicator of what tells you what is, I'm not saying that it is, philosophically right, but if you are in business, like it makes freaking real sense to make dollars and cents. Am I
Yeah.
wrong here? Like,
No.
it's not about like your intuitive sense on what, like, if the audience is, if your film has lost $147 million, like, who runs a business like that?
You might want to take a step back and be like, like, wait, who are we catering to here? And are they responding to it? No. Okay, let's change things up a little bit. Okay. And like, the whole like I get paid to come up with what's right. Like what?
Yeah, what?
Who the fuck are you?
The customer, well, there's the expression, the customer's always right.
That
And
used to be a thing.
if you want to stay in business, you might want to cater to the customer. Like, and who is your customer in this point? I could tell you it's definitely the person who did not go and see this last film that they put out.
I think it's funny because this has kind of been like a trend now too. Like it happened with Bros, and Bros lost like so much money. And then Billy Eichner came out and was like, I can't believe the straight people didn't go watch my movie. It's like, well, I mean, like, can you blame them? Because it's not even like it's a really great story about a gay character. It's like, oh, let's just watch gay orgies. Like, it's just like, what? Like,
I haven't even heard of this film, Bros.
Bros, you haven't.
Maybe I've seen an ad for it once.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I tell you to watch it, John, but I don't think it's up your
I'm
alley. Like it's
definitely not.
Yeah. So I mean, I watched like Chrissy Mayer's review of it, and she was like, "Look, she's like totally fine with like a lot of like she's interviewed porn stars. She's very free and." Like for a conservative girl, she's not very conservative, and she's sexually very like what's the word I'm looking for? She's free. She's a free bird. She's fine with it. She's fine with everything. She's very liberal
in that respect.
Yeah, liberal in that respect. But she's like, I thought I was watching gay porn. It's like what the fuck? Like you make a movie and then you represent gay people like they're a bunch of fucking degens. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just like that's not how gay people want to be represented. Like I know a lot of gay people who had a problem with that movie because of that. So I don't know. And then here's Bob.
That's just not the way the world is these days. But it doesn't mean you should stop trying to do the right thing.
I'm sure Bob's going to do
trying
the right
to
thing
change
for all of
people's minds as much as they resist you.
Bob's gonna
smart idea.
Yeah, Bob's gonna just, his bleeding heart is gonna save all of us. There was another bit too that was interesting because I thought this bit that he talked about basically what he's gonna do, which is nothing, basically,
There's a
about the culture war.
virtual question. Many cast members had wished that Disney stayed out of politics. Will Disney stay out of making political statements?
I think there's a misperception here about what politics is. And I think that some of the subjects that have proven to be controversial as it relates to Disney have been branded political, and I don't necessarily believe they are. I don't think when you are telling stories and attempting.
Look, people, I'm making propaganda films, and I don't think necessarily they're propaganda films. All right, I'm making propaganda, but it's not really propaganda. Like, don't believe your fucking lying eyes, okay? Like, I don't know what to tell you.
To be a good citizen of the world, that's political. Just not how I view it. Do I like?
What is a good?
By the way, I'm running for president. I don't think any of this is political, but just FYI, though, I'm planning on running for president of the United States, but nothing is political. Everybody, just saying.
Company being embroiled in controversy? Of course not. It can be distracting, and it can have a negative impact on the company. And to the extent that I can work to kind of quiet things down, I'm going to do that. But I think it's important to put in perspective what some of these subjects are, and not just simply brand them political.
There's a virtual question. Many
I mean,
cast
that's he
Disney-
definitely did a good job of like not answering the question.
Yeah,
Like,
that was very presidential. Like,
Yeah,
not
like-
answering the question at all.
like, let's not get into specifics about even what we're talking about here. Let's just talk in very general terms. And yeah,
but just like,
yeah,
I
and she's softballing everything
Oh,
because
yeah.
obviously this is at Disney, and he's probably already got the questions beforehand. He knows what's coming down the pipeline.
I mean, I thought I thought for a second he was gonna actually be like, by the way, I'm running for politics.
Iger
2020, Iger 2024 or some shit.
Yeah, no, I mean by the time if he did run for president, that would be he'd be 75, 76.
I don't think he's doing it, John. But you know what? If he did, especially this year, I gotta say he might have a better chance than the Republicans because I mean we're gonna get into it, but the Republican Party is a fucking mess right now, man. We're gonna get into it because that is the whole other topic that we're gonna get into tonight. But last video for Bob Iger. Here we go.
Bob, have you given any thoughts on how to tackle the Reedy Creek situation in Florida?
Something.
No.
I think this has to do with the tax issue, something meet and greet or something, whatever. I think it's because he got rid of the DeSantis got rid of the tax status.
Oh, okay.
So that I think this is about that.
I have to get up to speed on that completely. Obviously, I followed the news. That development occurred.
I don't know
after
what
I
he's
left the
talking about
company.
specifically.
I was sorry to see us dragged into that battle. And I have no idea exactly what its ramifications are in terms of the business itself. What I can say is the state of Florida has been important to us for a long time, and we have been very important to the state of Florida. That is something
Not as
I'm
important as
extremely
you
mindful
think,
of
Bob.
and will articulate if I get the chance. But I don't have the details at all yet about what the ramifications are of the decision that was made by the state of Florida and whether we intend to do anything about it.
I will say this. I don't know why, but he completely reminds me. Like he looks kind of like Frank Sinatra. Am I like totally off on this?
No, you're not. There is a likeness there.
There's a likeness, right?
Yeah.
Like he totally reminds me of Frank.
It's a little bit there for sure.
And then he's got I like what he's done with his outfit situation because he's kind of giving off the vibe. And this is totally political, like, right? Because you can tell that he's like, I'm here. I'm your friendly neighborhood, like, Bob, because I'm in my little sweater vest, like,
it's
Mr.
it's
Rogers.
casual. What would you say? Casual dress?
Yeah, this is like a
Mr.
Mr. Rogers, like inviting, friendly, like sweater. Like, I got my sweater on, like I'm your like, friendly grandpa.
Yeah, it's not a suit.
No.
You know, he's not coming in a full blown suit or suit jacket.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it does make him, I think, a lot more down to earth.
He looks more down to earth. So I mean,
In appearance, of course.
Yeah, in appearance, I think it's interesting in that sense. Bradley Burnett, thank you so much for the $10 as Disney shareholder. Mr. Iger, tell me how much money we lost on that movie. Iger, look, sure, it's 250 million loss, but we catered it to the 5 to 6% of the U.S. population, so that's a real win.
Yeah. Hey, it's all relative.
That's pretty much what he's
You
saying.
gotta probably write that all off in taxes.
And he's gonna be like, it was all Chapek's fault. Like, god damn it. Like I leave here, I give Chapek this kingdom, and I come back and it's a fucking mess. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I said this before. Granted, making movies like Strange World and some of their other decisions, even what's going on with Marvel, but I just don't know if Chapek could have really done anything to turn the tide in those 2 years. Like, I just feel like between the pandemic, like Bob Iger foresaw it. He knew. He's like, yeah, this is not a situation I want to be associated with. And Bob, it just wasn't going to be good for financially for Disney. And I just don't really know if Bob Chapek could have done anything about it.
I don't think so either. I mean,
you think about it too, he's like the opposite, like, he's bald. I think he's like a bigger guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like D'Angelo, or no, it would be like Robert California was the opposite of Michael Scott.
Yeah, totally.
It's like we don't want to put a guy in that reminds you of Bob Iger at all. That's going to steal his thunder. We want a very, very distinct, different looking guy, a different guy altogether. He's going to eat shit for us. And when Bob Iger returns, he's going to be, the savior of Disney.
Yeah, it's going to be some savior, all right. If he had said, if he had come out and been like, we're firing Kathleen Kennedy, we're going to right this ship, the MCU is going to get a whole rehaul. Like, I don't like what happened with phase 4. We're going to fucking, we're going to fix it. The MCU's out.
They need to.
I feel like, all right. Like, maybe Bob Iger is going to actually save Disney. But you know what? He literally came out and said the exact same bullshit Chapek was saying. And I was like, okay, so same old song and dance.
We'll see how strong it is. You are going to have Deadpool 3 coming out.
Maybe.
Which is probably going to be. I mean, I think it's happening, but that's going to be a huge box office hit for them.
Yeah, but that's going to be a while, though. I mean, the next one they got, John, is Ant-Man 3. Really? Like, you think Ant-Man 3 is going to do well? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I have no idea what they're doing over there. Like, it's just mind-boggling. Yeah, like Ant-Man 2 didn't do all that great, and yet they're going to give you another Ant-Man film.
It's Ant-Man 3, and then I think, the Marvels got pushed back. I don't know what's after. Chat, what's after?
There's another
Ant-Man. I don't know what's after Ant-Man. I know that the Marvels got pushed back. I don't know. I don't know what's after Ant-Man. I'm like nothing good. Nothing good is coming back. Bird Up for 5 says Bob got quite a hero complex, as if his next bomb movie is going to cure cancer. Dude. May as well refer to himself in third person while he's at it. I know, right? Like, he's got such a huge ego. He's like, I get paid to tell you what's right. Because when you get paid like me, like the way I make those $1 million bucks, that's when you know what's right. Because that's my job to know what's right. I'm telling you, because I get paid. All right. Oh, the Guardians. Okay. Guardians might do good.
Yeah.
You know what? Guardians. That's actually a contender. I did watch the new Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. It wasn't too bad. It was weird because it kind of like inserted like a whole bunch of lore into the story that I'm like, wait, what? Like, have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
it's like all of a sudden they're like, oh, by the way, this, and this, like in a fucking Christmas special. And I'm like, really? Like, what?
Have you ever seen the Star Wars Christmas special or holiday special?
No, because I've heard it's terrible, so I never watched
I
it.
haven't seen it either, but I'm assuming it kind of did those things too. I don't know. If it
No,
was-
I mean, like, it would look okay. I'm a sucker for Christmas specials and like Christmas stuff and like whatever. So in the Christmas bit, it was great. Like I actually loved some of the stuff because I was like, oh my God, it's so Christmassy. And like it was great because it was like just, I'm a sucker for that shit. But with like the actual storylines of like Guardians of the Galaxy, they introduce a whole bunch of lore, and I don't want to spoil it for you or anyone in the chat, and that's why I'm not like saying it here, but it was like really random and bizarre. I'm like, really, is everyone going to be watching this? Like people who don't watch this and then watch Guardians 3, like are they going to be confused that this is like the new thing now? Because maybe they didn't watch the Christmas special. Maybe they thought it was going to suck because Star Wars Christmas special sucked, and then they're not going to watch this. Then they're going to they're going to miss out on.
They probably didn't invest too much money into it, I would assume.
No, I don't think so. It wasn't that much. Well, I mean, it wasn't that crazy.
Yeah.
Like stuff, but it was good. It was all right. But I was just like so random. I mean, if you're like not doing anything and like dying for Christmas content to watch or something, like go for it. Like I would not recommend it. Like it's not like I wasn't like, oh my God, it's so woke or some shit like that. Like, no, it was fine. It was Guardians.
I started watching, speaking of content,
Mhm.
I'm not sure if anybody in the chat's seen this. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but I started watching The Offer.
No.
It's about
What's
the
that?
making of The Godfather.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Tom has
Miles
told me to
Teller.
watch that.
Yeah, I'm 8 episodes in. Got 2 more to go. It's pretty good, especially if if you're a big fan of The Godfather. Like,
Tom
check it out.
Tom told me about it. Tom from Midnight's Edge. Shout out to Tom and Midnight's Edge. He told me about this show and he said it was really freaking good. And I'm planning on watching it. It's on my list. But Tom also told me that the new Christmas Story is really good, and I'm planning to watch that as well.
The one on HBO.
Yeah, like the new one, and it's with the same dude. I didn't realize he was in it. Like
That's funny.
It's him, and he's grown up now. And I was like, oh my God! So I'm gonna watch it. So we're planning on reviewing that this Sunday. So if you guys are interested, come and hang out with us on Sunday. We're gonna review a Christmas Story because that's what it's called, and I can't wait. It's gonna be great. Oh, I did, John. You need to watch 1899. I know it's on Netflix, but get a hold of it somehow because it's good. It's the same creators of Dark, dude.
Okay.
You're gonna
I did see I saw the ad for it and I was like,
it's good, dude. It's good. Like Jane and I were like, we were talking because we were reviewing it, and then we were talking about how we were talking about it on your channel. We were talking about Dark, and we were reminiscing about those days.
how does it measure up to Dark?
Okay. Dark, especially season 1, is like next level good. So it's like, I mean, I cannot quite.
The bar is really high.
Like it's just way too high. Yeah. But it's good. Like it's good. I can't say that it's like bad or anything, but it's like, I'm
sure. I wouldn't be. I mean, I'd be shocked if they actually made.
No, it's not the same level. If it was
better than season 1, like
no. No.
That was pretty.
Ooh, I will tell you this though. If you do start watching it, do not, and I mean do not watch it dubbed. Okay? You have to watch the original audio because because when they talk in different languages, like because there's so many different characters from different cultures and different languages. They're not all speaking German for it to be like just dubbed straight to like whatever. So you're gonna miss like the whole story if you are watching it dubbed in English because it just won't make sense. It'll be like a whole totally different story for you.
How many episodes is
10.
it? Oh, okay.
1,
is it already done?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Netflix.
One season, Netflix done. It's pretty good. Well, I mean, I hope it gets renewed, but if it doesn't, John, I would be fine with this as a single season. I'd be
Because
like, you know
it
what?
still works as
Like,
one season.
I think it does.
Okay.
I mean, like there's a lot of stuff that I want like
Answered
answered and
and
stuff,
yeah.
but like I can have my own head canon. Like I'm okay. Like you know what I mean?
Okay.
But I'm sure they're gonna get at least a second season because it was pretty fucking good. Okay. Moving on to the next topic. And the next topic is going to be what the fudge is happening with the Republican Party. Because I am like, I mean, I got my popcorn. I'm sitting here. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, you're right, Fuzzy. Fuzzy's right. It's 8 episodes.
8 episodes.
It
Okay.
wasn't even 10. It was 8. Yeah, I was talking about 1899, everybody. Neens voted for Omar. I only voted for one Omar. There's only one Omar that I like, and it's Omar from The Wire. If that's what you're talking about, then yes. I love Omar from The Wire. Sorry, I drank water.
What are you drinking?
Water.
Oh, okay.
Delicious, delicious water. Omar. I don't know if people know Omar in the chat, but he's the best. So, John, did you see Kanye West walk out on Temple?
I did, yeah.
What a mess. So did you hear about what kind of like happened before it all went down? Like how they got invited to dinner at Mar-a-Lago and you know, all that kind of stuff?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Okay, give me one sec.
Sure. Yeah, I still have yet to see The Wire as well. Shaquille Oatmeal. I have not seen it yet. I heard it's really good though.
The Wire is amazing.
Yeah.
It's like one of the best TV shows of all time, in my opinion. So Kanye, I don't know what the hell he's thinking. I mean, I don't even know if he's thinking because I think he might be mentally ill. I'm not even like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
There's definitely something. I mean, there's been something up with him for a while.
I mean,
and it's more apparent like every time you see him, you know, it's really difficult to try to just play it off as like, you know, I think at first, especially when he went to talk with Trump, I just wanted to believe that, yeah, maybe this guy is just, you know, he's just kind of like that crazy uncle you have.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, he is just who he is. But then it's like, well, yeah, there's the wheels just.
It's the genius factor, right? Like, because a lot of people refer to him as a musical genius. And I think that a lot of people who are geniuses usually tend to be kind of off. Like they're like, you know, just a little bit just severed from reality. Like, you're like, okay, things don't necessarily work in their brain like it does with other people.
With a normal person.
Yeah, like with a normal person. Now, I mean, Kanye, I think he has that genius in him. I think there's a lot of stuff that he says that could be interpreted as like, well, yeah, he's speaking truth or whatever. But a lot of times he's just very, like, he just comes off as extremely misguided. And in this case, I think that's kind of like what's going on because in a lot of stuff, he does have points. Like, for example, I'm not going to talk about like, you know, his comments about the Jews, but he's talking about like the stuff that he talks about with regards to like, you know, Kim Kardashian and what she was doing to his kids and how he's worried about his children and, you know, that kind of stuff. Like he had a point. I mean, she's nuts,
for sure.
You know, like, so I don't like, there's stuff that he said that he clearly is going through something and you can see that he's going through something. And he's been taken advantage of. And I think he's still being taken advantage of. Now, Kanye West, this is what happened. Like, I watched this, like,
I think they've been extremely unfair to you.
Who was they, though? We can't say who they is,
corporate
can we?
press. I'm not using the. I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking.
It is
about
them, though, isn't it? I mean, because because when you think about it, consider it. In 2018.
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about? Are you leaving?
Are you afraid of the press?
Okay. So here's my thing. I have my opinions about Tim Pool, and I have my opinions about Kanye West. And I think the entire situation is really weird because I think Tim Pool and Tim Pool did a stream. I don't know if you caught it or not, but he did a stream after this thing happened where he explained like how behind the scenes, like, you know, what went down and how he believes that Yiannopoulos and them set the whole thing up in order to walk out anyway. Like that was their plan.
I seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, having said that, I don't know if that's the case, but I think that it's interesting that like even Tim even went on to say like, oh, like I don't have a Tim Pool style show. My show is this kind of show. And when you're coming on my show, you're going to do this. And I think that's really rigid kind of thinking. Like
when you have somebody like the stature of Kanye West, you know, willing to do like, I would have been like me personally, if I'm like, if I had that scenario and situation, I would go out of my way to make sure that I did not like if Kanye wants to confide anything, he wants to, you know, say it himself, that's up to him. But I would basically tell him beforehand, like, look, questions you want me to ask you or what you're comfortable talking with. And whatever you want, I'm just grateful that you're here. There's no pressure one way or the other to talk about anything that you don't, you know, especially anything you don't want to talk. Like I want to make him feel as secure and comfortable as possible because again, this is Kanye West and he's, you know, I mean, this isn't just anybody in terms of, you know, and again, not, you know, there is, unfortunately, I think we could say there's a stature hierarchy here in terms of like, you know, who Tim Pool is in terms of, you know, it's like Kanye West he's an extremely prominent figure, whether you like him, you hate him, you disagree with him, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so when somebody like that is good enough to come on your show, which for him is not, you know, it's not really a big deal. You know, mm-hmm. He's not going on Piers Morgan. He's not, you know, he's coming to do, and I'm not saying by all means, like Tim Pool he's a big deal too. Like it's all relative in the sense of like where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. But, you know, that's just my opinion. I like both of them in certain, like, I don't have what I'm saying is I don't have anything against either one of them. I appreciate them for who they are. But
for me, it's just like, I think that no one's beyond criticism. And I think that, sure. I think Tim Pool could have handled the situation better. Now, having said that, like, cause he admitted that he went through the show beforehand with them. Like he was like, you know, I'm not going to have you guys come here and sit down and talk about anti-Semitism on my show. And I respect that. Like, I understand that he didn't want to do that, but at the same time, it's like, you knew why he's in the news. Like,
yeah, if he wants to talk about it, I don't understand why you would have somebody come on your show and especially like someone like him and put any type of limitations on him, you know?
Well, the only kind of limitations he should have put on him is YouTube limitation, which is like, listen, sure. We are on YouTube.
We can't
whatever
talk
you
about,
say, you can fuck me over. So please, like, make sure that you understand that whatever you're saying here, you're going to be accountable for.
Sure.
So, like, you know, and then let him talk. I mean, we're talking about Kanye West, Milo Yiannopoulos, and Nick Fuentes. Like, I mean,
some big names. Yeah.
That like. The entire, like, he should have just let him talk and like see what happens, and the shit that just comes out of these people's mouths, you would have been like, all right, you know, like I've got a show, and then just, you know, give your spiel afterwards. But it's like the fact that he's trying to like be a conductor and like holding his finger up to Yi to be like, can you like let me get in? I'm gonna like conduct here now. Like it's like no. Like this is a conversation. Let it go. Like let him.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you know, you almost say like, if this video gets struck, like, oh well, you know, I mean, like, oh well, you know, I don't know, you know.
And here's the other thing. Now, with regards to Kanye West's like comment about Jewish people, which I like, I mean, I think it's so stupid because what I think is, again, this is what I think that he really means, and maybe I'm just projecting onto him, but I think what he really is talking about is psychopaths. And he's just missing this kind of like terminology in his brain where he doesn't understand that psychopaths come in all shapes and sizes. They come in every race, they come in every color, every creed, every human being on earth has the potential to be psychopathic, narcissistic, some more than others. And the ones that he's surrounding himself with right now are some of the biggest psychos, like Milo Yiannopoulos. I'm like, bro, does he not have any friends? Like, it's like, does he have no friends that can tell him, like, yo, man, I don't know why you're hanging out with Milo Yiannopoulos, but he might not necessarily have your best interest at heart, bro. Like,
yeah,
it's gone crazy with that. And I don't think I think all he needs to understand is like the people in power that you're talking about are the psychopathic elite. Like you're talking about the psychopathic elite. You're not talking about a specific race. You're talking about
as long as he keeps on saying, what he's been saying, and that's where, is he just so, is he extremely intelligent in this one regard, but like not socially intelligent? It's like the genius level of creativity artistically is through the roof in terms of that intelligence, but perhaps, he's just lacking in social intelligence, social
I think
awareness,
that's true.
Where it's like, that idea of like, do you understand what you're saying, like how people are going to respond and take what you're saying? It's like for people, for instance, who like, if somebody believes in flat earth, now again, I mean, this is, it could be opening up a whole can of worms here with this, but it's just kind of like that. I mean, again, I don't personally believe in it, but you have to know if you are that person that believes in it. Also consider how will you be viewed if you talk about it, and to try to at least gain that perspective of how will I be viewed if people know I believe this? Because whether you like it or not, you have to understand that people are going to think a different way about you, in terms of, again, whether they're right or wrong or whatever, that's a whole different thing. But it's like the same goes for Kanye West in terms of some of the things he's said. It's like, whatever valid, I think I know what you're saying, Nina, but like the moment you are pinning it on a particular or specific race, like, yeah, people are going to respond like this. And whether it's right or wrong for them to shut down, I think it's, for them to remove him from their bank, just
that's
over
crazy.
words. Like that's, I don't know, that seems extreme to me.
It was extreme.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even seeming, it is extreme. It's
just like when they did it to the truckers, I mean, in Canada, but it's I mean, they do it all the time, but it's not necessarily one group of people. That's what I'm saying. It's like you think like all bankers are Jewish people. That's not true. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, and when he talks about that, and like, it's like as if he doesn't realize, like, you just cannot generalize like this, because when you do, that's when people start calling you anti-Semitic or racist or this or that. And I'm like, oh my God. I really don't think Kanye West like really actually hates Jewish people. Like, I mean, I don't think so, but maybe I'm wrong.
I know, I don't think he does either, but some of his statements, I could see how
it would be
Jewish
perceived
people
as that.
feel like he does, know? I mean, I could see that. Like,
I could see that too.
You pin that, you take your own, whatever, ethnicity, anybody in the chat is their major one or whatever. It's like, and if he says that about them, it starts sounding like, why are you, picking out, my specific nationality? It's like,
And okay, and some people are saying, and rightly so, yes, he does. Why is that? Why else is he, hanging out with Nick Fuentes? And that's a very valid statement. That's a very valid statement. And that's what I'm going to be talking about next, because I think this whole thing has gotten extremely out of hand. And it's, I mean, in one sense, it's hilarious to watch because I'm like, oh my God, this is
that one
really
video
funny.
where he's like, I can't say it. He's like, I can't say it, but he was Jewish. Did you see that video? You've seen this. You've seen
Nick Fuentes or Kanye?
No, Kanye. This was like probably 2 or 3 weeks ago.
No, I don't know if I have. Oh no, was it like when he went to like that first thing, like the first interview?
I'll see if I can find it. Like I think on, in regards to this whole thing, like I think it's, there's multiple things to be learned here. I think, like for Kanye, okay, so it's like, can you just say anything? Sure, you could say anything you want, but you also can't necessarily choose the consequences of, once you say something, just because speech is free doesn't mean that there is, and this is even like, this is like, let's say they don't mess with his money. Let's say he doesn't lose these deals, but people still in the arena of public opinion, they've got their right to say what they want, and that's part of living in a society with free speech. And you kind of have to, on the one hand, I think you can have your own, you can have your own opinions, you can have your own thoughts, and you could say them, but you just have to kind of think ahead of time. You have to think.
Well, and I think it's like the message of hate is a really weird one to run on. Like, it's like, okay, like I'm going to run for the president of the United States. By the way, I hate a whole bunch of you people. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like, that is not a good message to run on, dude. Like,
no.
How do you expect to get a single vote? Like, okay. It's just weird, but we're gonna talk about that next.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, it's like, I think things have been extreme for him, what has happened to him. But at the same time, like on the other hand, you can't necessarily, he can't play the, I don't know how much you can play the victim though either. How you can just like kind of claim like because again, you can't, you start saying statements like that, you start specifying, pretty much any race of people. I think, I think we can make an argument that, yeah, sure. Like, there might be some races where there's going to be the consequences are going to be a little bit heavier. But like, let's say he came out and talking against Irish people, I mean,
probably not as much of a backlash.
Probably not, but there still would be, like, if he was just, he kept on mentioning Irish people, I would start to assume that, like, oh, I think this guy actually
really hates
Irish people. Like, I'm getting the idea there is some internal animosity towards this group of people.
Ginger side is real. Like, I really feel like Ginger side's real. But I mean, I feel you, John. I agree. I think like there's some people have a legitimate reason to be upset at him, and that's why I'm like, I don't know if this is what he means. I think this is what he means. But
like, if he started saying this about Italians, or a specific thing about Italians, I would probably start looking at it like, okay, yeah, this guy, I think he really doesn't like Italian people, like
just really,
I'm having it. Yeah, like it's like out of all the people, and again, I mean, we could go further into this, but it's like,
it's funny, but we are going to, just because this is going to get crazy. Bradley Burnett for $10 says the real question for me is, should Tim have just let Ian Fuentes have 2 hours to voice anti-Semitism without questions? Would either of you allow that to happen, or to have Ye on your stream? Now, here's the thing. I would on Rumble. I'd be like, you know what? Come and just say whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. Like, if that's what you're going to do, but I would curate my questions surrounding what he's trying to say and to make him clarify himself more. Like, I'd be like, okay, like, what do you mean by that? Walk it back tell me exactly when the first time was that you felt like this. What is this? Like, and just get him to speak and talk about what he's talking about, because honestly, like, I really don't think this guy hates everybody. Like, that's what I would be trying to get at. And then if by questioning him, that's where we get to, like, that he really does hate everybody, then that's where we get to. That's him then, like, then he's not being misunderstood.
Here's how I interpret it, but I didn't, I really only seen that little bit of context. I thought Yee didn't really want to talk about it. And I thought Tim Pool was getting into it. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, from what I understand,
it's the opposite.
It's kind of like the opposite. Well, like, it's not really the opposite. Is that Tim
Pool
wanted
was trying to protect
discuss
himself.
Well, but Tim wanted to discuss the Mar-a-Lago dinner with Trump. That was his entire thing, because it's his topical show, and the topic was the dinner with Trump. And why are you guys having dinner with Trump? Why are you asking him to back you? Like, like that, the whole dinner for Trump and, Milo's take, and, like, that entire thing. That was the topic that he wanted to discuss. Now, like, obviously Kanye wants to say stuff about different things. So, like, he's like, yeah, like, let's talk about it, but we're also going to talk about this. And Tim was like, no, we're not going to talk about this. Like, and that's basically, that, and then you saw what happened. Cause, like, it's like, it's one of those things where, like, Kanye just kind of leads every single topic back to the same topic. Well, why do you think that is? Cause, this, and, that kind of thing. And I don't think Tim wanted to have that kind of conversation. And that's why, a lot of people are like, I think Joe Rogan would have been a better outlet for this, because Joe Rogan has the talent and the skills to bring out what people are actually talking about and what they mean, versus, like, this topical show that Tim wanted to do. That's very rigid. Like, it's a very rigid conversation.
Yeah, no, I think, when you get somebody like the stature of Kanye West on your show, you don't, I don't think you get too particular.
You can't
you
be so
don't
rigid.
tell him what to do.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about, like, some of the biggest egos on the planet getting together in the same room, and then, like, like, it's just like ego overlap. Like, you got Tim Pool's ego, you got Kanye's ego, you got Yiannopoulos' ego, you got Nick Fuentes. Oh my God, like, that guy's such an idiot. Like, I don't understand why anyone would want to hang out with that guy. But okay, here we go. So this is what's going on with the Republican Party. This is kind of like a lowdown right now.
I will say, before we move on to that, do you think Tim should have, because I was thinking about this too, like, I probably would have went out and tried to at least talk with him.
I think he should have. Yes.
I found that to be kind of, like, I know he's got a show to run, but he's got other people there.
Yeah.
Who are very competent. And
he was like, Luke went to talk to him and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, why wouldn't you go talk to him?
You gotta go talk to him.
It's like, not called Luke Cast. It's called Tim Cast, and he just walked out on you. Like, go. Yeah.
Like, you gotta, I think, at least try to make things right. You've gotta too. I think you gotta put your ego down and say, look, man, I'm sorry. I don't know if I offended you. Whatever I did, I apologize. Like, I don't, like, you don't want to burn that bridge. I think you want to, perhaps there was no saving it after that. Maybe Kanye's mind was already made up and he's just like, F this guy. But again, it's just not every day you have, that a person of that stature coming on your show and he's like, have him walk out in like 10 minutes, I think, after the show started.
It was like 10 minutes. That's why people are saying, and he's saying that they came there intending to walk out. Like, that's, I mean, and
I feel like that's kind of
valid.
Maybe, but I feel, well, maybe after you tell them that, you can't talk about X, Y, and Z on my show.
I think that might be valid, because I think Yiannopoulos has his own fucking plans. I think that, like, I think him and Fuentes,
he just wants to kind of stir the pot, or
they're undermining even Kanye, and, like, he doesn't even realize what's happening. I think Kanye is, like, really just being completely taken advantage of, man. Like, these people are just some heavy hitters of, like, psychopathy. Like, it's crazy. Bradley Burnett for $10 says, I watched the show live. In my view, Tim started to ask about who they was specifically, and he walked off. You cannot run for POTUS if you walk off when you don't like a question. I agree with you. He came off as weak, but see, that's the thing. If Tim knew what he was going to say when he asked, who do you think they are? Because he's like, oh, who do you think they are? But then again, you can't actually answer my question because if you do, that's not what I want to hear about because you're anti-Semitic. Like he knew what he was going to say.
Well, and I think Yi could have said, you know darn well who I've already said.
And he kind of did. He was like, why? Like that's
that
what Nick Fuentes said.
That would kind of piss me off too, in the sense of like, I've already, why are you making me do this again? Are you, like, it feels like it's like bad faith in the sense of like, you know darn well, why are you asking me this question that I've already talked about? Again, I'm not, I'm not defending Yi's statements, one way or the other, but it's just like Tim already knew where he stood.
He already knew. That's what I'm saying.
So it's kind of like, why are you trying to get
redundant?
Like, I think Yi's like, see, that's how I took it. Was like, he's like, are you trying to get me in more trouble?
Yeah, it was redundant.
It's like, I don't know. I still don't have enough.
Monday morning quarterback, sitting here and talking about. Like,
I think he at least had to run out there and at least try to make things right. Even if he was walking out, at least try to make the attempt.
I would have.
If somebody's again, somebody like him, his stature is willing to come on your show, I don't know. I just like, oh
my God. Yeah. Godzilla 2K26 for 5 says, if Joe was asked if he thought the Jews are behind all of the problems, Joe would have said, no, you are crazy. But I think Joe would have also been like, where am I? What?
Well, I feel like Joe Rogan would have left the studio.
Oh, wait, you guys are talking about Joe Biden. I thought you were talking about Joe Rogan. I thought you meant Joe Biden. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, I think he is talking about Rogan.
Yeah, no, you're talking about Joe Rogan. I don't know why I thought Biden. Okay, if Joe was asked if he thought that Jews were behind all the problems, Joe would have said, no, you're crazy. Yeah, no, he would have said, no, you're crazy. But but why? Why do you think that is? Tell me why. Like, explain to me why. Go back to step one. Let me hear what you're talking about. Are you talking about Zionists? Do you distinguish between these people?
Sure.
Like, between people? Like, are you talking about political groups? Are you talking about the country? Are you talking about like every single person that, ascribes to Judaism? Like, what do you mean, Yi? Like, you need to clarify yourself because there's a lot of people who are upset at you, there's a lot of ways that you could get people to do that, I don't know. But yes, Jacob is a great super chat here from Jacob McWade for 5 says, Medicare exposed Milo tonight on stream. Milo is grifting again. Laura Loomer has been putting out receipts. And this is exactly what I was going to talk about next, because that is exactly what happened tonight with Mr. Medicare live streaming and going over what the fuck is going on with the Republican Party. I was watching that stream and I thought it was really Medicare is just incredible at just laying everything out. But that is exactly what's been going on. And I thought that that's what's going on too, because when I started to realize that Milo Yiannopoulos of all people is Kanye West's freaking campaign manager, I was like, this has to be some sort of troll. Like, there's no way that this is a thing. Like, it cannot be a thing, but it is. And
so is he running? Is Kanye running in 2024?
Yes, he's announced that he's running, and that's why they went to Mar-a-Lago to have dinner with Trump so that they can tell him, hey, you should be my running mate. Like, that's Kanye literally apparently said that to President Trump. And Trump was like,
Trump should be his VP.
Yes. And he's like, are you for real? Like, are you going to lose? Like, are you insane? And so things have been going on.
They cannot be for real. There's no way. Like, this has to be one big troll, one big.
It's insane. And it's almost as if they're each other alive. It's crazy.
Like, he he has the, how insane do you have to be to actually think, you've got a shot at winning, the presidency after all of this.
I mean,
even before it was insane.
but that's the thing.
Now it's,
That's the thing.
it's
I don't think they
tenfold
ever did,
insane.
though. I don't think they ever did, John. I think they're like trying to actually Milo
You think they're
Yiannopoulos
trying to
has
screw
said
Trump?
yes, and Milo Yiannopoulos has said that like his mission statement in life was to destroy the Republican Party. Why else would he be doing this? Like, I mean, it's not. This is so clearly like some sort of weird civil war going on in the Republican Party where they're eating each other alive. And you know what? This is not how you win an election, you guys. Like, this is not how it's done. The Democrats are going to destroy you if these are the candidates they're coming out with. And this is the drama that you're putting out.
Could you imagine if Yi actually winds up on stage debating?
I mean, he's just going to walk off if somebody asks him about a question. They're just going to be like, what'd you just say to me, bro? I'm out. Like, you know,
it's just too easy of a. I mean, I'll be shocked if he even gets there. But like,
let me read this article, John, because this goes into what the hell's going on. So this is brought by written by Claire Goforth, which, you know, she's laying out what's going on, and I thought it was a good article because at least she's talking about what the heck is actually happening. The next presidential election in 2 years is 2 years away, but the race for the Republican nominations is already heating up. Former President Donald Trump, the first candidate to announce and currently the presumptive frontrunner, is naturally right in the thick of it. But as much as some desire his return, others want Trump out of the picture. And I think this is very much true. I think a lot of people want him out, some Republicans. Now, far-right trolls are taking sides, fighting a proxy war before even the first ballots are cast. The conflict has turned allies into enemies and entangled high-profile figures. Threats and accusations are being fired across the internet in an ugly personal war between former compatriots. Extremists battling it out include Islamophobe. That's funny. Laura Loomer, far-right troll Milo Yiannopoulos, and white nationalist Nick Fuentes, among others. I mean, these are some really interesting labels, but I mean, we're going to carry on. Loomer and Yiannopoulos are longtime friends turned bitter enemies who've each chosen opposite side. Loomer for Trump, Yiannopoulos against Fuentes, who is also pro-Trump, appears to have recently been used as an unwitting pawn by Yiannopoulos. Now here, I'm going to say this. There's nothing unwitting about what Fuentes is doing. He's 100% in it with like this whole thing with Yiannopoulos. I think they're like, you know, teamwork in it together. I think Medicare is right. I think he loves Kanye West, and he took his first chance to backstab Trump to meet Kanye and like to hang out with Kanye. I think like that was his whole freaking schlick to just, you know, just be like, oh, I'm gonna hang out with Kanye now with freaking Milo, and like, you know, I'm gonna backstab Trump while I do it. Yiannopoulos had all but disappeared from from public view when Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene, or RGA, threw him a career lifeline by hiring him earlier this year. Yiannopoulos recently nabbed a spot working for Ye, the rapper Kanye West, on his presidential campaign. Though there's some debate about whether he legitimately hopes to bolster Ye's chances or simply using him to wreak havoc to hurt Trump. Last week, Ye unexpectedly brought Yiannopoulos and Fuentes along for a presidential dinner with Trump. Ye later put out a video saying that Trump was really impressed by Fuentes, who is the far right's most prominent Holocaust denier. Now, here's the thing. Apparently, Trump came out and said he had no idea who the hell Nick Fuentes was. Like, he was like, I don't know who the fuck Nick Fuentes is. Like, because he came out, like, everybody was like, why are you having dinners, like, these Holocaust denying white nationalists? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, I don't know who these people are. Like, especially about
Fuentes.
he
needs to have, I don't know, like Trump needs to have somebody looking out, you know, looking out for his back, man. Like checking, you know, doing the research before he says, yeah, sure, I'll have dinner for you with you. Like,
sorry.
Because really, ultimately, who benefits from that situation?
No,
it's not Trump.
Not Trump. Not Trump, and not Kanye. It's yay, not ye. I don't know. It's spelled Y-E, but okay, yay. Yay, Kanye. Okay. That medal. Oh wait. So yeah. By the
It's
way,
like the King James,
Fuentes
you know,
is a
G.
Holocaust denier. Like he's like literally a Holocaust denier. But it's like okay, whatever. And this is why it's so weird to me that like again, freaking Kanye is like, oh, I'm gonna like I hate all Jews or whatever. Like I hate these people or whatever. And then he goes and hangs out with Milo Yiannopoulos, who is a freaking Jewish man. Like, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, do you know who you're hanging out with? Like, at all?
Well, again, it's like, yeah, I don't think when he says, when he brings up Jewish people, I'm thinking he's talking about a select group of Jewish people. Not all of them.
I hope he's not talking about all of them, but
that'd be,
you can't tell anymore. You can't
well,
tell. I don't think
he hasn't really specified it,
but he hasn't specified.
That's a problem.
I mean, I don't think he means it either, but that's what I'm saying. Like you don't know. It's like he's very bitter.
If he said the elite, if he just said something like the elite,
exactly,
and didn't attach, which I guess somebody can make an argument that he's maybe not part of the elite, but in terms of his payroll,
all he had to say is psychopathic elite, psychopathic banking elite, psychopathic, like whatever. You don't need to go into race, man. You don't need to go into race. The 1%, who's the elite, the 1%, the ones that the Occupy, the one that Tim Pool from Occupy Wall Street went to protest against, those people. Like, like that those are the people that we're against.
The
freaking ultra
pulling,
mega rich
the
people.
Strings.
The Klaus Schwabs of the world, the ones that are trying to like ruin everything for everybody. Last week, Yi unexpectedly brought Yiannopoulos and Fuentes along for a pre-planned dinner with Trump. Yi later put out a video. Okay, I already read that. The meal generated an onslaught of negative coverage and condemnations of Trump, because of course they're going to do that. Of course. I mean, they were looking to freaking condemn Trump for anything.
Well, that's the thing where he's got to be like, he's just got to be more savvy. He just has to be. If he wants to, he can't afford he can't afford stupid bullshit to screw him over this time. And that also is going to come down to like I mean, is Trump ever going to use Twitter again? I don't know.
No. And I think he's contractually obligated not to from Truth Social.
But I mean, even still on Truth Social, he's going to have to kind of rein it in and not,
the globalists. See, that's a good one, Dustin. The globalists.
That sounds,
The globalist elites, the fucking weirdos who are trying to ruin everybody's lives.
Again, if that's, is that who he means? What we don't know. But had he said something like that, he would not be in the trouble he's in right now.
Okay. It goes on to say, including from the former prime minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. Is he not like the prime minister again? I thought he was. I thought he got reelected again. I heard he did.
Really?
Who called it a mistake? Yeah.
Okay,
he's back.
I didn't know that.
BB's back. I think I think he's making a mistake. I know, but I'm pretty sure he just came back like very recently. Who called it a mistake? Trump subsequently released a statement claiming that he had no idea who Fuentes was before the dinner. There it is. I mean, how could you not know? I mean, I don't know if I call bullshit on this or like really Trump needs to
I seriously think I don't think he knew, and that's just like, again, I don't know who he has working for him. I don't know if he's got, but he can't afford this type of stuff. Because they're looking at every little thing he does.
Everything. The trio has since been accused of setting up Trump. One of Trump's advisors told NBC News of the dinner disaster. The master troll got trolled. Kanye punked Trump. The dinner set Loomer off In a big way, she believes that it was a ploy to hurt Trump politically and claims that Yiannopoulos is actually quietly in cahoots with Greene and other top Republicans to take Trump down. In recent days, Loomer has unleashed a volume of posts accusing Yiannopoulos and Greene of dirty dealings. Milo is not only trying to sabotage President Trump and but he is also trying to sabotage and blackmail Nick Fuentes, Loomer recently wrote on Telegram. She also posted screenshots of Yiannopoulos blasting both Trump and Ye, as well as videos of Greene endorsing her congressional campaign and friendly texts the two women supposedly exchanged. Now we're going to go look at these because these are some of the receipts that she's dropping. But like just to go on this little bit here where about the blackmail of Nick Fuentes, like Milo having blackmail. This is very well known to anyone who's kept track of what's going on with Milo, that he does this. This is something he does. He's admitted to it, that he has a hard drive of, blackmail and whoever he works with. This is documented also from Lauren Southern, who recently released her manifesto and talked about her experiences with Milo and how he had basically blackmail on everyone he worked with. And he was like, I'm going to release this shit if you ever fucking cross me. So this is the type of person that we're talking about here. Real quickly, Bradley Burnett for 5 says, this is literally bizarre world, to quote Mugaje from Zoolander. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I know, dude, this is crazy. That's why I'm like, if you guys think that the Republicans are gonna like win with this kind of bullshit, like think again.
No, you can't.
Again.
It was just a bad idea for Trump to ever even meet with Ye. Like it's not in any way, shape, or form politically expedient at all for him to meet with him. Like it makes absolutely no sense. You just don't want to be seen with this guy at this time.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, like, does he not watch any TV like at all? Like, what is going on?
I mean, he's again, whether you want to say he's an anti-Semite or not, that's part of the narrative out there. Trump does not want to attach himself to that in any way, shape, or form.
Exactly. That would be a smart political move to make, but apparently Trump doesn't make smart political moves sometimes. So this is the close-up shot. Laura Loomer alleges that prior to being hired, run Kanye West presidential campaign, Milo Yiannopoulos repeatedly posted on social media that West is gay. Loomer then posted a video of Milo bragging about collecting shit on nearly everyone whom he interacts with. This is very well known. So this is like kind of like the post. Kanye's gay. Don't make me keep saying it. This is all from Milo. Milo, most rappers are homos, especially the new crop. This is well understood in the something.
So why is Kanye hanging out with this guy? Has he not heard about this?
I don't think he knows. This is sometimes I don't think he knows. And like he either doesn't know or is extremely nescient of the situation and who he's surrounded himself with.
He doesn't know.
Or he's just like
there's no way he knows this.
He's being taken advantage of, which is really fucking sad. This goes on to say Kanye is a very gifted homosexual. Kanye's
now, is there proof that these are real? Because obviously somebody could.
No, I mean these are the screenshots she's posted. So like, I don't think they've like gone and like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like verified if these are the thing, but I'm sure somebody will, and people are gonna go look into it, and I'm sure it'll all come out if it's true. Oh, here's the. This is called the hard drive thing. Can you guys do you hear this? Do you hear the
vault?
I can hear it. Yeah.
Okay.
This is the vault. This has shit on everyone you have ever heard of. Video, pictures, emails, audio, text messages, phone calls. Anything you'd ever really want to know about every public figure I have ever encountered. Most of the conversations I've had with people when I've been in a single party consent state. Recorded, archived. I have shit on everyone. And I'm now in a position in my career where I'm perfectly happy to start dropping it all. So I have a lot of crap on Richard Spencer and everybody else. This is called the vault.
Like,
I feel like this is a good way to get yourself killed.
Like, what? Like, this is the kind of person that Kanye is like, yeah, I think this guy, I'm gonna hire this guy as my campaign manager. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, I don't know who he's mingled with, but better not be Hillary Clinton.
oh my God. That's crazy. Okay, so going back to that article, which is chronicling just what is going on. So yeah, basically Laura Loomer's dropping shit, and apparently she hasn't stopped dropping shit, and she's gonna keep dropping like the receipts about Milo. Milo tweeting out another receipt from her. Donald Trump is morally what is this word? Vicocious, lazy, fat, something fraud, and if you are still maintaining
Retarded.
otherwise, that's what it is. Otherwise, then you two are fraud or just as bad, hopeless imbecile. Loomer is convinced that Yiannopoulos has been deployed by Greene as part of a secret endeavor to bolster the candidacy of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who is a presumed contender for the 2024 Republican presidential election. Now, okay, I don't think this is true.
Yeah,
I think that's a stretch.
Connecting those dots is
I don't know if Marjorie Taylor Greene is the mastermind of this situation, but I'm sure there's like, other Republican like bigwigs that are into this. I don't know if Marjorie Taylor Greene is one of them, and if she is, I think she's probably a useful idiot and that they're using. But I don't think she's like an intentional one. I don't think she means to be.
Yeah, I don't think she would. Yeah, there probably are Republicans though who I don't know. Maybe it's possible.
I think so. I think it's definitely possible.
I mean, who knows, man? The type of games that go on in Washington D.C., like
it's crazy.
Who knows the kind of stuff that has gone on?
These people are nuts.
Yeah.
I believe MTG is working with Rep. Kevin McCarthy, R. Califf to wait. What does this mean? Like Republican
for California.
To undermine Donald Trump by using Milo as a political hit job tool for the sake of helping make Ron DeSantis the 2024 GOP presidential nominee, she claimed. Yiannopoulos has largely ignored Loomer's attacks, with the exception of recently reposting an unflattering depiction of her, captioned, "Someone owes Milo an apology." Greene told Newsweek that Loomer is lying about everything in an attempt to remain relevant. She denied working against Trump and said that Yiannopoulos' internship with her office ended in August. Other far-right figures agree with Loomer's theory about the dinner being part of a plot to take down the former president. Both McCarthy and Greene recently released statements condemning Fuentes. Greene specifically referenced his racist anti-Semitic ideology, which prompted Loomer to post a screenshot of Greene retweeting it last week as a Twitter account that Elon Musk should reinstate. The list includes Yiannopoulos and Fuentes. So this is from iHypocrite account of Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene retweeting iHypocrite, who's saying to bring back these accounts. Now, I don't necessarily I don't really ascribe to oh my God, you like this tweet or you retweeted this thing. That means you must like this or whatever. I think that's really SJW style thinking. And I don't really like that at all.
Well, it's like the kind of thing that happened to Gina Carano, that she wound up getting fired just over retweeting something.
Yeah, she she just shared a post on Instagram, and that it's oh, okay.
Or that's is the equivalent on Instagram, but
yeah, shared a story or whatever. She was disavowing them the other day, Loomer noted. See, but she could also have been just maybe wanting, I don't know, John Doyle back. Who knows? Or
sure,
Mr.
there could have been a few different names on there.
Or maybe Alex Jones. I don't. It doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Well, here's the thing. You could be completely opposed to people you could be enemies with people. I could be enemies with people on that list, but I could still believe that they deserve the right to have.
Yeah, it's like me. I don't like Yiannopoulos or Fuentes, but they should have the right to have a fucking Twitter account to be able to talk about whatever the hell they want to talk about. I don't care. I'm not gonna follow them, but they should have the right to talk about. That's what free speech means.
Right. So it's MTG could disagree with every person on that list, just for argument's sake, but she could
Sure.
believe in the idea that everybody should have the right to access on the platform. I mean, unless, again, it would have to be, in my opinion, for somebody to get suspended, like it would have to be some pretty, terrible stuff that,
CP. Like
exactly.
let's just
That's
stop it there.
what
Like,
I'm thinking. Is
yeah,
just like
yeah.
something of
No.
that nature. It's like, that you're gone.
Yeah, you're done.
You're never coming back.
Or like actual threats of violence, like I'm
Sure.
gonna come to your office and kill you or some shit
Sure.
like that. Like somebody
I think
literally
everybody
tells you that.
can agree with something like that.
Mhm.
That you probably we're gonna draw a line. We got to draw the line at some point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah. Okay, so this goes on. She wasn't disavowing him she wasn't disavowing him the other day, Loomer noted. Loomer ally Roger Stone reshared a post supporting her. Loomered, it read, discussing how she cut ties with Greene over her anti-MAGA support. Stone has stood by Trump for decades. Loomer is going full gas at the Magna Exitio Telegram account wrote on her accusations that her former friend is out to sabotage Trump. Yiannopoulos hasn't made much of a secret that he's pleased the dinner turned into a political debacle for Trump. He posted the NBC News article in which an operative claimed Trump got punked by Ye. He also blamed Trump for his political problems. Nick and Ye didn't discredit Trump's 2024 campaign with that dinner meeting. Trump did that himself by having the most boring, low-energy announcement speech in history, he wrote on Telegram. Others on the far right are fiercely debating whether Yiannopoulos is pulling the strings in Ye's presidential campaign in an effort to draw support away from Trump without actually helping his current boss. Rahim J. Kassam, who worked with Yiannopoulos at Breitbart, believes that his former colleague is responsible for some recent tweets from Ye's account. Some have since been deleted. Like this one here, where he screenshotted this saying, it's Milo. As a former editor of Riz, I recognize the poor syntax of shielding of himself by naming others. It is literally all he does, and he doesn't realize it's become boomer AF. And this is the tweet saying, as much as Ben and I disagree, I pray he joins me in saving our country. You know what they say. I love your enema. I mean, spelling is not my core competency when I'm sleepy. If Nick keeps tweeting from my account, the only platform I'll have left is Truth Social. So like this dude here is saying that this was not Ye, it was Milo tweeting that. And I could see that because that doesn't seem like something Kanye would write.
Yeah.
Just checking the chat. Okay, we're good. One of the tweet Kassam wrote, it's Milo from, I read that. There's also chatter about who else might be on a political plot to influence the Republican presidential primary race. What do you know about this character, Milo Yiannopoulos? Is he connected in any way to the Marjorie put Lynn Wood in jail? Taylor Greene, conspiracy theorist attorney Lynn Wood, wrote on a Telegram. Are old Marjorie and Mike Flynn friends? Far right figures Tim, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Gonet, aka Baked Alaska.
Gonet, yeah.
Gonet, okay. I only know him as Baked Alaska. Baked Alaska accused Tim Pool of provoking Ye rather than letting him pontificate on his podcast. Yet, accompanied by Yiannopoulos and Fuentes, abruptly walked out on Pool's podcast. Podcast after some mild pushback about their anti-Semitism. Don't buy into Tim's gaslighting. He knows exactly what he's doing, Gonay said, claiming Pool was working against Ye. So this is what he had to say. Baked said Tim Pool lets Milo speak for 3 hours uninterrupted last week. And then the most brilliant man, Ye, of our century comes. The the most brilliant man of our century. I mean, come on now. That's a bit of a stretch.
Somebody's drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit.
It's like, damn, like, wow, like freaking Kanye simp much of our century comes on. And then Tim Pool says, nah, this isn't an interview show. We need to talk about the news stories. The first news story is literally all about Ye and Nick and the accusation of anti-Semitism, but he wouldn't let them talk about it. Don't buy into Tim's gaslighting. He knows exactly what he's doing. See, and I feel like that's what there's a valid point there.
Yeah.
Yiannopoulos has indirectly denied such accusation. Everybody, me included, loves Trump and wants 2016 Trump back, he wrote on Tuesday. That still won't be enough to beat an authenticity Christian Ye 24, but at least it would make the journey more interesting. Fuentes appeared to have been... Sorry, what was that, John?
No, they just... Come on. He's not being honest. You know, he's just not. Like, if you think that Ye has any chance in the world in beating Trump, I mean, it's just like you're mentally psychotic, you know, or you're just you are like, if somebody truly, he doesn't believe that, he's smarter than, you know, he's not an idiot.
I don't think he believes that either, but I don't know, maybe Ye does. Like, I could see that because I think he's mentally ill a little bit.
It's possible.
What's it called? Okay, so then Fuentes appears to have been caught off guard by the negative publicity he generated for Trump, and he denies being part of a ploy against him. My intention was not to hurt Trump by attending the dinner. That is fake news. I love Donald Trump, he wrote on Telegram on Tuesday. So Fuentes said, and Yiannopoulos said he arranged the dinner just to make Trump's life miserable because news of the dinner would leak and Trump would mishandle it. Although it's still years away, the feud over who will become the next Republican presidential nominee has set the far right ablaze. I get a lot of credit as a connector, instigator, architect, imaginer, icon, visionary, prophet, you name it. Yiannopoulos posted on Gab last week, and that's all true.
This could be I mean, they could be cut from the same cloth, him and Ye, because I feel like that's something Kanye would say.
I mean, you know? Like, yeah, that God complex, like that, like a hardcore narcissistic God complex that he has, like, for sure. Yeah, I see that.
Well, I mean, and Trump, you know, to some
degree,
some degree. I mean, I think you could say that, you know, I don't think it's as extreme with Trump as it is with Kanye or any of the other.
I mean, I think it used to be. Trump was like one of the biggest narcissists on the planet, but I think Trump got a little bit humbled when he became president, and he was like, "Oh, damn! Like, you know, like maybe not everybody loves me." Like,
maybe, yeah. I don't know.
I feel like he was way more egotistical back in the day, like when he was on The Apprentice and stuff like that.
Well, I feel like that's some of it's for the show, but
that's true. Speaking
of Trump. And I want to throw this out to the chat. And Nina, of course. Do you think, I don't know. I've got this sense, and I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on it, but I just get this sense that, and I don't want it to be true, but it does feel like Trump has lost momentum. And I guess I stand a little bit in doubt of his chances and his odds for 2024.
That's a great question. I think that you're right.
Does it feel like the steam has been taken out of his campaign a little bit? You know,
yes. I think DeSantis is where the steam is at. I think DeSantis is where the steam is at. Like, I think a lot of people like DeSantis. I think they like the fact that they stood up against like the bill,
the COVID rules,
Like, for me as a person who's not even Republican or American, the COVID thing was a huge deal. So I was like, if I was an American, he would have my vote. Like, I would be like, I'm voting for DeSantis. He's the only one that stood up to tyranny. And that's all I care about.
He wasn't pushing the vaccine either. I mean, Trump did a little bit. and he got some pushback, and it's like he kind of stopped.
Yeah, but Trump was also pushing like alternatives. Like he wasn't like, oh,
he
yeah,
was.
late. Like he was like,
But there
let's
was
do
a moment
everything
where
that
Trump
is
got
good.
booed. He was getting booed by his own audience when he.
That's true. Because
I think it was one time, and it wasn't a good look though.
No.
And it was just, but it showed that just because people are Trump supporters doesn't mean, and there are people that like just absolutely love the hell out of him. But even those people, that showed up to a rally were willing to say like, nope, we're not going down this road with you, buddy.
That's a great question,
That's
Robert.
where we're drawing the line.
What's their foreign policy? I mean, I don't know what their foreign policy for DeSantis would be. I'd be interested to know what he would think, but I don't know. Bradley Burnett for 5 says, holy crap, this is beyond 40 chess. This is like TMT, ayahuasca, experiment gone wrong. The multiverse is broken and the infinity stones are in play. I know, Bradley, like I'm going nuts. I was like, what is happening? Mind you, like I have my popcorn. I think it's extremely entertaining, but I'm also a little bit concerned for America and like, logic and like what the fuck? Like what is going on? Like we are actually living in clown world now, because is this what, like, okay, so like on one hand you have Ron DeSantis, on the other hand you have Donald Trump, and then you have Ye and Milo and fucking Nick Fuentes. Like what, in what world is that team like an acceptable team of like candidates to run for fucking president of the United States? I don't know. Like that. I mean, that's just insane to me.
I mean, I would just be shocked if, well, I shouldn't be, but it's just hard to imagine actually Ye being on the freaking debate stage. He is going to, unfortunately, if that happens, I mean, it was one thing for Trump to do it in 2016, but at some point people had to actually start taking him seriously. The problem with Ye is I think a vast majority of people are just not, he's going to discredit the Republican Party.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like as if the Republican Party has become a joke. Like it's like you guys are trying to fight like actual tyranny and communism and shit and CRT, and you're fighting against like extremely well planned, psychotic leftists that are like they've got a plan, man, and they're executing it, and you guys are just eating each other alive. And by you guys I mean like the Republicans, not
right,
like
not
you specifically or anyone. Like it's just like the Republican Party, like it's just completely just falling apart. And it's kind of really shitty to watch, like in some ways. Like I'm like, dude, that sucks. Like this is the alternative. Like, yikes.
And the problem is with Ye, and even this is like, I think one of Trump's weaknesses to some extent is it always becomes about them. Like all the attention, it doesn't ever feel like it's for, I take that back. But, especially with Ye, it's kind of like everything tends to be about what's going on with him. It's like, even if it is about something else that he's trying to do, it's just like all of this attention is just, it becomes about him, and it's like, it just kind of gets lost in the shit storm and cloud that is, unfortunately, his brand, like right now. And even Trump to some extent, granted, he's done I think he's done a lot of great things, or a lot of good things. But again, it kind of, there are some things where just like, I feel like with DeSantis, at least politically speaking, he doesn't draw as much of attention to himself per se. It doesn't feel like it's about him as much as it is about what we're trying to accomplish for the people of Florida or America, if he runs. So And that's you know, I don't know. I think that's just a big difference. You know, Trump always seems to want to make sure he takes credit for things. And you know, I think that's fine at times, but it just seems like, you know, if it's just always about you.
Well, I
It's a
mean, like
problem.
right now, when it comes to the Republicans, I think like maybe DeSantis is the one that just looks the best right now, because what is Trump doing even having dinner with these people? Like, it's like, what are you doing,
Yeah.
dude? Like,
It's just not a
stop.
good look. And you got to
No.
know, like, I get it how people would say, like, well, he should be able to do whatever he wants.
But
You know,
not if you're running for president.
but yeah, but you got to be smarter, you know. And it's like
there's a public image you have.
you can make the, you know, people can make the argument like, oh, he should be able to tweet whatever he wants. Well,
there's consequences for that.
There is, unfortunately, you know. And it's like he you know, he was his own, you know, he was his own worst enemy in some ways. And I think, you know, like The Art of War says, basically the person that makes fewer mistakes wins, you know. And that's part of winning.
That's a good one, and it's true.
Yeah.
And there's always a bit of luck involved too, you know, like it's just
yeah,
there's
we
a
won't
little bit of
discredit
luck.
that.
Yeah. And then and you know what though, you know, the craziest part is about America is that as much as I want to say like, hey, I could never see Ye as president, at this point in my life, I could see it happen. Like, I could see people troll voting for Ye. Like, I could be like, okay, like
Just for the hell of it.
just for the hell of it. Like, oh, we don't want the leftists and we don't give a shit about Donald Trump. And, you know, like maybe DeSantis doesn't run. And they're like, hey, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go with Ye. Let's just see what happens. I could see it happen.
Yeah.
I wish I could say I couldn't, but
I mean, I could see him potentially getting on, you know, being on the debate stage, garnering at least enough popularity for that, maybe. But
it would be funny.
It wouldn't be, you know, wouldn't be like a huge percentage, but he could get up there probably just based off of his, you know, his fame and his notoriety.
I mean, I never thought Trump was going to be president. I was like, there is no way that Donald Trump is going to be the president of the United States. Like I said that several times when, you know, when he announced he was going to run, and I was like, wait, he's running against Hillary Clinton? Like, there's no way he's going to win.
Talk about a shot to like Hillary's ego.
That's crazy. That's why she hasn't let it go. She hasn't let it go, man, because like, how much is that going to hurt?
She?
Like, come on.
She can't, you know, still pushing that Russian collusion, you know.
So speaking of crazy leftist, there was this other thing in the news that I want to talk to you about, because I thought, I mean, this was funny. This Sam Brinton person, who is the
bald
binary Biden official, arrested over stolen suitcase. Okay, so like, do you know what happened with this?
So I guess he accidentally took the suitcase.
It's not accidental. I don't think it's accidental. Okay, first of all, we're gonna.
Well, I know that he did get into the stuff.
We're going to very slowly scroll down so that people can like really familiarize themselves with this, what this individual looks like. This is your nuclear waste disposal. The nuclear engineer. You go, girl. You get it. You get that suitcase. I do like her heels. His face.
Their name is Sam, so
okay.
I guess I could go either. Wow, rocking the mustache there.
Wow. That's a great look.
I mean, it's like if he wasn't wearing women's clothing,
look at this guy's face.
He would look normal.
Oh my god, look at this guy's face. It's like, where am I?
You're in clown world, sir. You are in yeah.
Okay, so here we go.
The capital of clown world.
Brenton's arrest for the alleged theft came just months after they took up the federal government gig. They're accused of snatching a $2,325 Vera Bradley suitcase from baggage claim at Minneapolis St. Paul Airport back in September 16th, court documents say. When Brinton was confronted by police nearly a month later, they initially denied stealing the bag, insisting their clothes were inside the suitcase at the time. But Brinton quickly backtracked and claimed that they had taken the piece of luggage by mistake.
Oops.
Brinton told, sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, once you say that, you can't go back. Like, once you lie about it, like, you can't.
When your
like,
story
oh, whoops,
changes.
I accidentally took it. You know, like, wait, what? You know, it's like, all right, you're guilty. You know, before it was kind of like, you know, they denied it, so there was a denial. It was like, you can't do anything about that.
Oh
Now,
my
had he found out the address, which I'm sure was on the suitcase, and just dropped it off at the person,
That's the thing. Just
that would have
wait.
been like, that would have been the best thing.
That's the thing that gives it away, John, because
Oh,
that's a great
okay.
point. Because it says Brinton police first realized that the bag wasn't theirs when they opened it up at the hotel. They got nervous that someone would think that they stole it, so they emptied out the suitcase and dumped the woman's clothes in the drawers of the hotel, the court document said.
So it was in his hotel room?
Yes, like he
Well, he had to know that.
He took it to the hotel room, dumped the clothes in the thing because he was like, "These are ugly clothes that I'm not gonna wear anyway, and then I'm just gonna dump these clothes." And that's like his wearing days. And then he just took the suitcase. But surveillance footage showed Brinton allegedly grabbing the luggage from the carousel and removing the ID tag identifying the owner.
Yeah, busted. You're busted.
This is the thing that gives it away.
Yeah, once you take that ID tag, like, you can't even claim that it was like, oh, I accidentally took a bag I thought was mine.
And then was later captured on surveillance using the same suitcase at least 2 trips to Washington, D.C.
Gosh, what a bonehead. Like, how hard is it not to steal something that's not yours, you know? Like, what the heck was going through your brain?
I mean, is there even one?
I mean, there's cameras everywhere.
I mean, it's post 9/11 flight. Of course, there's cameras everywhere. Like, what the fuck?
You're gonna get away with it? Like,
yes, that's the thing about these people. And by these people, I mean most of the government official and elite people, like elite officials. They think they can get away with anything. They think they're like the fucking bee's knees. They're like, I can do whatever the fuck I want now. Like, nobody can tell me what to do. Like, I'm just like, I'm gonna look at this pose. Like, I'm just this fierce bitch. No one's gonna tell me what to do.
yeah,
that's right. I'm gonna take whatever luggage I want.
He lost her job, right?
They've been put on leave.
Yeah,
I
mean,
that's what it says.
There's no way they're gonna let you work in the.
I think it was that they said that's been put on leave. They were.
I mean, this is a nuclear engineer.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Where was it? I think it said they were put on leave. I don't think they're like fired, but they're like.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
If this was a straight, a straight person.
I don't think I don't remember.
Would it have been a definite firing?
Why doesn't this article say that? Like, shouldn't it say that? Isn't that part of it? Like, isn't that an important part of this story to cover? Like, I don't care about their views on gender identity, New York Post. Why don't you tell me what consequences?
Well, it depends on when this story was when this was published.
November 30th.
November 30th. Yeah.
That's it. Okay, let's see. Wait, this is another New York Post article. Okay. I think this one did say it. They got nervous, blah, blah, blah. The Biden official was charged with felony theft and movable property
without consent. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, there it is.
Definitely
They were
found
placed
leave.
on leave in the wake of the allegations, and another office official was named as interim replacement earlier this month, according to the Exchange Monitor, which tracks the government. If convicted, Brenton could face up to 5 years in prison and or a $10,000 fine.
Better hope you get that $10,000 fine.
I don't think they're going to jail. I mean, protected
No.
class and all that. I think.
No.
I think.
I'd be shocked if they actually go to jail. They'll
Yeah.
probably, get a good attorney. Do everything they say.
Mm-hmm.
He'll
Apology tour, all that stuff.
Yeah, he'll pay the fine. He'll probably be on probation, and as long as he doesn't get in any more trouble,
Mm-hmm.
that'll be the end of it. But I'd be shocked if he still keeps his job.
I tell you, that is not a female.
Well, she's close enough for me.
Ahead of its time, in all the
Way
worst ways.
ahead of its time. We live in clown world, people. We live in clown world. Okay.
Well, I think too, speaking of the Republican Party, I think there was 11 or 13 Republican senators that voted against the Defense of Marriage Act.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it.
Do you have time still? Are you good?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I've got some time.
Because I have a couple other things that I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh, yeah, here it is. Real quick, I'll just share this because the thing about the Republican Party is it's in the same way the Democratic Party is not anywhere near the party it used to be. It's like the Republican Party, the same could be said for the Republican Party. So
Oh, you're sharing? I'm sorry.
yeah. So Jenna Ellis tweeted this. Here are 12 Senate Republicans that voted for the same-sex marriage act today. And so, yeah, which 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, this would have never happened. But now it's like even the Republican Party is shifting to, they're starting to look like the Democrats of not that long ago, really.
Well, I mean, that's kind of really what happened, though. Isn't that
right? No, there's it's like
the shift.
Yeah.
Everyone's inching.
Yep.
Bradley Burnett for 10. Thank you. Says, I think tonight's show has reached new heights of the level of insanity. Not one subject had the semblance of rationality. Can we go back to more subjects like Az's love of moobs? Oh my God. I can try, but the next couple topics are also kind of fucked up. I'm sorry, Bradley, but this is the Clown World show. So really quickly, I'm going to go over a couple things that I spotted from the Canadians
for standing up for an LGBTQ2 plus kid.
The Canadians are in the news. And real quick, deranged lunatic, aka DL, for $1.99. Nina, are you going to talk about Cocaine Bear? Hell yes, we're going to talk about Cocaine Bear.
Based on a true story.
Based on a true story. We're definitely going to talk about that, but I'm going to leave the best for last kind of thing. So that's going to be.
Got to leave on a feel-good story.
Yeah, we got to leave.
The only one that's feeling really good is that bear.
That Cocaine Bear fucking trailer, man. That was great. But this is not. So this was so annoying. Okay, Ryan Williams tweeted out. This dude is I believe he is a member of parliament. Yes, he is a member of parliament in the Bay. So he's a conservative MP. He tweeted out, "It's never okay to lie. It's never okay to lie under oath. It's never okay for a prime minister to divide the country he represents. If there ever was a time for an apology, it is now. We need it more than ever. I mean, I replied, he can shove his apology up his ass or where the sun doesn't shine, because we don't need the apology. We need him to go. Like, he needs to resign. This is not about, like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I fucking treaded on your freedoms and changed Canada to become a fucking fascist country. No, there's no sorry with that. But then this dude posted this video basically showing how he's a liar and lied under oath.
Vaccinated racists and misogynists. And we have heard testimony in this inquiry about how some of your officials wanted to label protesters as terrorists. Would you agree with me that one of the most important roles of a prime minister is to unite Canadians and not divide them by engaging in name calling?
I did not call people who were unvaccinated names.
I almost fucking literally like I almost pulled that, like, you know, that panda gif where that panda's like just fucking throwing like the desk and just starts smashing everything. Like, that was like me when I heard him being like, I did not call the unvaccinated name. I was like, I'm gonna fucking kill somebody. That's myself. Like,
It's
I'm
on the
just
level
gonna...
of like Bill Clinton saying I did not have sexual relations.
That's literally what it was.
It's like straight up denial of the truth.
So then this guy, though, very aptly puts this video right after this.
Mais il y a aussi des gens qui sont farouchement
So I don't know if you can read this, but it says, but there are also people who are fiercely against vaccinations.
opposés à la vaccination.
They're extremists.
Qui croient pas dans la science.
Who don't believe in science. They're often misogynists, also often racists.
Qui sont souvent misogynes, souvent racistes aussi. C'est
It's a small group that muscles in.
Un petit groupe, mais qui prend de la place.
And we have to make a choice in terms of leaders, in terms of the country.
Là, il faut faire un choix en tant que leader, en tant que pays.
Do we tolerate these people? So
saying being intolerant,
racist,
Justin?
misogynists, fucking
homophobic, xenophobic. He said those things too.
He said he basically called us terrorists.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit.
Straight up, just lies.
Just an absolute.
Yeah.
And nothing's gonna happen, by the way. Like,
no.
I absolutely
like
nothing is going to happen.
Biden said some outrageous things. I mean, I swear, it's like if Trump said some of the things Biden said, like the media would have lost their shit.
Yeah, and to that point, to John, you retweeted this earlier, which I thought was great. It says from the True North account, Justin Trudeau saying, if you join the protest because you're tired of COVID, you now need to understand you are breaking the law, PM Trudeau says. And then from the True North account, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, everyone in China should be allowed to protest. We will continue to ensure that China knows we will stand for human rights and with the people who are expressing themselves. Well, gee, thanks, Justin.
So screwed up. Like, he'll stand up for another country's right to protest, but he wouldn't even stand up for his own people. Like, how? Like, Canadians have to feel, at least, you know, unvaccinated, anti-vax Canadians have to feel like they just hate this guy. I mean, I'm not even in Canada, but I you know,
he's such a piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, did you hear that Biden was the one who put him up to, did you see that? That Biden was the one to telling him to declare the Emergency Act, or telling him to.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was in, like, I know he was like, yeah, talking to Biden and everything. Yeah, you got to do it now. Yeah. Like, of course he did. Of course he did.
I would have been like, nope, I don't have to do anything.
Nope.
Like,
yeah.
I don't care if
How about no? Okay, here is another story that I want to talk to you about. This one was kind of crazy. So this was one of those instances when I was like, I was going through my Twitter feed and I see this thing pop up and I'm like, oh God, like what now? Freaking SJW is probably freaking out about something else. Like, let's let's hear about this story. And I'm just kind of like, I was being a little dismissive. Like, I was like, it's probably like a milquetoast thing that people are fucking just making a big deal about. Then I started reading details and I was like, ooh, okay, maybe this is an actual clear example of racism still happening. So this was Prince William's godmother, Lady Susan Hussey. I can't pronounce her name is Hussey. Resigns from palace duties after asking Black visitor where she came from. Now, like, again, seeing this headline, I was like, what? Like, who cares? Like, you asked like where somebody's from, like that shouldn't get you like whatever. But this headline doesn't do this justice, because if this transcript is to be believed, it was a lot more than that. So it goes on to say that basically what happened is Ms. Fulani works as an advocate for survivors of domestic abuse, described the exchange as a violation. She wrote on Twitter that Lady Hussey, who she refers to as Lady SH, approached me, moved my hair to see my name badge, and then insisted on asking her, what part of Africa are you from? Despite her saying she's British, the aide said, I can see I'm going to have a challenge getting to you to say where you are. So this is the exchange, apparently. So the conversation is, Lady SH, where are you from? Ms. Fulani, Sister Space. Lady SH, no, where are you from? Ms. Fulani, we're based in Hackney. Lady SH, no, what part of Africa are you from? Ms. Fulani, I don't know. They didn't leave any records. Lady SH, well, you must know where you're from. I spent time in France. Where are you from? Ms. Fulani, here, the UK. Lady SH, no, but what nationality are you? Ms. Fulani, I'm born here and I'm British. Lady SH, no, but where do you really come from? Where do your people come from?
Oh my gosh.
Miss Fulani, my people, lady, what is this? Lady SH, oh, I can see that I'm going to have a challenge getting you to say where you're from. When did you first come here? Miss Fulani, lady, I'm a British national. My parents came here in their 50s when Lady SH, oh, I knew we'd get you here in the end. You're Caribbean. Miss Fulani, no, lady, I'm of African heritage, Caribbean descent, and British nationality. Oh, so you're from, oh my God.
Didn't quite get the hint.
Like, holy shit. Like, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, man. Asking where somebody's from, especially if this is like an initial meeting or whatever, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been asked that, John. Like, a lot of times people are like, wait, like, where are you from? And I'm like, well, I'm from Canada. And they're like, no, I mean, like, where were you born?
Right.
Where are you from? Right. And I'm like, oh, you mean my nationality? I'm Persian. Or like, I say like, oh, you mean where my parents from? Because, like I moved very close to like, when I was little to Canada. So I refer to myself as Canadian. So I would say like my parents were Persian, so like, yeah, you can go with that and talk about nationalities and stuff, but like, I mean, come on. I mean, if you're a royal,
I don't think it's a good starting off point.
It's not a good look.
It's like, why does it? I mean, I know people that have been asked that. They get asked that question, and I rarely get asked that question, of course, but I can only imagine how weird and how tiring it would be if I did.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why does it matter?
Bradley, the source of the transcript is this lady's Twitter. It's the person who said the conversation with Lady Susan as reported by Ngozi Fulani. I think that's her.
I don't know if it necessarily is like racist as much as it just is not really a good, it's kind of like, it's almost like I find it cringeworthy a little bit,
But it's cringeworthy because it's racist, John. Because it's like,
Well,
I mean,
sure. I think it's more like I'm either thinking you're either racist or you're ignorant. You know, it's either one or the two.
right.
Either one is not good. Like, you know,
Like it's like, I mean,
like,
if she's going up to her and being like, but where are you from? Like, why are you black? Is like basically what she's asking. Like, what black part do you come from? Like,
yeah,
it's
I
like,
mean, at
dude,
what point,
what
like,
the fuck? Like, it's like, no. If she
yeah,
answers you, I'm a British national, then you're like, okay, great. You move on with your life. Like, stop it. Stop like asking.
you know, I think at some point, maybe if you actually develop a friendship with that person and, you know, the conversation somehow comes up,
Mhm.
you know, that's one thing. But I just think as a first conversation to ask somebody, like you're almost asking, you're asking to be looked at, you know,
Mhm.
in some, it's just probably not the best way. Like I wouldn't want somebody to do like very first thing to ask me like, "Oh, you know, you look like uh you know, based off of your facial features, you look like so and so, or you look like, you know, you look like you're probably this nationality or that, or they, or even just asking like, what nationality are you? It's
Mhm.
just like, well, why is that important? You know, like, do you want to know so you
Yeah,
can
why? Yeah.
decide whether you like me or not,
Yeah,
or you know,
right.
like,
I think it's just a pressing factor. Like it's like, okay,
well,
like
that's what made it super cringy.
yeah, it's
You
like she
know,
doesn't like obviously she don't want to answer you.
get
So
the
like why
hint.
you just
Yeah.
why you keep asking? Like stop it.
It's
Like,
very clear she is saying like you're getting the idea that yeah, I don't want to really talk about this. You know, that's what
in
it
an
sounds like.
in an interview with LBC, Miss Fulani said nobody from the palace has spoken to me, but she would be happy to have a conversation to bring about the positive solution. Reflecting further, she said, "To be honest, I wish that the lady could be spoken to and know the damage she has caused, and preferably not be front facing. But for her to resign, that has nothing to do with me. I don't feel good about that. She's an elder, and in my culture, we respect elders." Conversations need to be had with the relevant people so this kind of thing doesn't happen again. Well, that's nice of her. Like she's like, okay, well, I mean, like I didn't want her to resign or anything. In comments to the independent website, she said, "This is bigger than the individual. It's institutional racism. This incident is unfortunate and shows that nothing has changed." Okay, see now this part I have a problem with because I think things have changed.
Yeah.
And I don't like I think like one isolated incident is not
Yeah, it
going
doesn't
to
necessarily mean it's institutional.
yeah.
You know, like one individual doesn't equal the
One
institution.
individual who's like fucking 83
Oh,
years old,
yeah.
okay? She's from
Yeah,
the bygone
she's
era.
coming from a different time for
Like
sure.
I don't
But
think if you had this conversation with Kate Middleton, she's gonna be like, "So where are you from?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, I doubt that this would be the
Yeah.
same conversation. I
And
don't know.
And I think the thing of it is like obviously she's probably not having this conversation with every person she meets. And so it feels and it definitely seems racist in the fact that because she runs into a black lady, she's asking her this question and she's probably not asking everybody else, you know.
There's a witness. Husley's interrogated Filani witness. Jesus, what is happening with this? Like,
Like a crime is
it's like a
taking place.
crime.
And that's the other that's
I'm a witness of racism. Like
I mean, but you're right though. I mean, this person she's from a different time.
hey Jane,
what's up,
what's
Jane?
up? Good to see you. So yeah, we're talking about racism.
Yeah, and the fact that she's from a different time, this isn't making an excuse for her by any stretch, but the reality is like she definitely grew up in a different time.
It was a different time back then.
It probably was okay to, probably seemed okay to talk to somebody like that back then.
Well, especially because she's like royalty, and like, you know, when
Right.
you're speaking to someone
who's
lesser
gonna-
than you, like, and I mean in status, not like in terms of like skin color. I mean, like in your status wise, you ask them a question, they fucking answer you. Like, you know, when they the days that this lady was
And
brought
even
up.
if they ran to the paper or whatever,
Yeah, I mean,
their
like,
story probably isn't even getting, their odds are that that's not, it's not like today.
it's
And,
just,
with
I
social
mean,
media and everything.
I don't know. Let's listen to what this lady has to
We
say for a
arrived
second.
at the reception and were ushered into the main room where the reception was taking place. Myself, Ngozi, and another campaigner were standing together, 3 of us, Black women. We were approached by a member of the royal household who came over, began the usual small talk. Very quickly, she zoomed in on Ngozi and asked her where she was from. Ngozi said she was from Sister Space, which is the organization she leads. But what followed was almost an interrogation. There was question after question about where she was really from, where her people came from, what her nationality was. And
She's like, "Are you supposed to
British. I
even
was
be
born in the
here?"
UK,
Like,
but
that's what
wasn't
it's
enough for
Yeah,
me.
like, it's like,
like. Can you
who are
provide
you?
some like ID? Did you sneak
Oh
in here?
my God. Like,
I mean,
dude,
it was
that
pretty
sounds
bad.
bad.
No, I agree, Jane. Like, she doesn't get a
That sounds
pass.
bad.
She doesn't get a pass because she's old.
I
That's
mean,
for
do you
sure.
get a pass if you're senile and you think
That's
you're
what
still in
that's
back
what I'm
then? Like,
that's what I'm wondering is like, is she senile or is
yeah,
she,
that's what I'm thinking. Like, if
and it's
she's thinking
like,
it's like, 1929, it's like, okay, sure. Like, I don't know. Is she all there? Like, are we talking about a Biden incident here, or I don't know.
This person really wanted to extract some other information about her heritage, her African heritage, and it was really uncomfortable. In the end, it was a prolonged encounter over several minutes, and in the end, it left all of us feeling like perhaps we didn't belong at the event. Perhaps we weren't truly welcome.
Aw.
Actually, I
That's-
don't want to
yeah.
see her step down. I want to see her step up. I want to see all of them step up. I want to see the royal household as a whole acknowledge that institutional racism is part of the culture, and I want to see them tackle that.
It's not,
head on.
though.
I think zooming in on this one individual doesn't really bring any comfort. It reminds me of the whole bad apples narrative. It reminds me of the whole, okay, let's treat this as an isolated incident and move on from it approach to dealing with these issues. And I think what's needed is something bigger, something more substantive, and something that really meets the scale of how these incidents play out, what they represent, and what they mean for people in this country, like myself, like Ngozi, who do belong here, who are British, but aren't necessarily received as such.
That's fair. I mean, I think that's fair.
Yeah,
And
I
I can
guess-
see why, like, if you're being treated like this, I can see why you're like, well, this is institutional freaking racism. Like, I can see
Well, the
that.
problem is when somebody's representing an institution.
That
it's like your responsibility, your accountability, like what you have on your shoulders is just, it's a lot bigger than the average person. If somebody off the street does something like this, of course it's just as terrible, it's just as bad, but the repercussions aren't there in terms of like, if you're a government official. So, I don't know if these are like recurring things that are happening with different, these other politicians, but
Yeah. Bradley, it's interesting that you say that because apparently she gave like a giant interview today and people are like, she had a point, like she's killing it. I don't know what they're talking about, but she had like, apparently Megan had an interview today and I was like, oh, but I didn't get to read what happened there. So yeah, but that was it. I thought if that is true, I could see that like I could see that being like racist because that's fucked up.
Yeah,
I mean, it would bother me. It would bother me if somebody came up to me and was like,
no,
"Where are
if
you
you put,
from?"
I think
Like, over and over.
if anybody puts yourself, like if you put yourself in her shoes,
Mhm.
And you feel like you're being singled out because of the color of your skin,
Mhm.
your appearance or whatever, and somebody keeps asking you these invasive, just probing questions, like you can't tell me, and she's not doing it to anybody else.
Mhm.
It's like, it's going to feel very weird.
Yeah.
You're going to feel a certain way. So
Exactly. Meanwhile, this is also going on with Britain, and I was like a little bit shocked about this headline, but then again, like I was like, what the fuck, man? Like this is weird. Time to rethink Christmas as half of country not Christian, says diversity group. So then we have like, stuff like this come up, and I'm like, dude, that's uncool. Like, I mean, first of all, Christmas is amazing. I mean, look at this. Like, what are you talking about? Christmas is fucking fantastic. They say many people feel left out and excluded from celebrations while their own religions or spiritual festival is ignored.
I don't know. Throw
not.
your winter solstice party or whatever
Yeah.
you want to do.
Which I do. Like I don't like, I'm not a Christian, but I celebrate the winter solstice and I love Santa. So I'm going to, celebrate Christmas in my own way. Like, and I love the lessons that Christmas offers about giving and charity and love and hope and, loving one another and all that crap. It's great. Like, war on Christmas. I know. It's war on Santa. This is bullshit.
I mean, really, like how many people though in reality feel this way, that are like this offended by Christmas? I don't know. Like if you had to guess a percentage, what would it be that feel this strongly about it?
About like of Christmas, that it should be like abolished, like to get rid of Christmas? Very low.
Well, I guess what's the point of the? I mean, obviously we get the main point of the article, but is there any specifics that they're talking about?
Oh my God.
Like, should Christmas music stop being played at
a group that works with organizations on issues of diversity and inclusivity said I just like how like it's about inclusivity and diversity, but they're like, can we like not include Christians anymore? Like, it's like, what? Inclusivity say that it might be time to cancel Christmas. The call comes after new statistics showed that less than half of the population of England and Wales described themselves as Christian in 2021 census, meaning that Christianity is now a minority religion. But the UK still has a very heavy emphasis on celebrating the birth of Christ, according to the Watch This Space, an award-winning diversity and inclusion consultancy. They say that from November onwards, the decoration in town centers, the advertising in our televisions, the constant emails from retailers all imply that everyone will be celebrating on December 25th. But they say that many people feel out and excluded from the celebrations, while their own religious and spiritual festivities is ignored, and more feel under pressure to spend large amounts of money for no real reason.
I mean, I'd say that last one's legit,
So you're talking about more like the
commercial aspect of it.
Like,
I mean, I don't think that rethinking Christmas in that aspect is a bad thing. Like, maybe, especially in a recession or with the way the economy is right now, like, yeah, it's probably not expedient or good for people to be spending money they don't have, or to feel pressured.
But that's the thing. Like, you don't necessarily need to spend money on things you don't have. You can make gifts.
You don't. But that's, I mean, really, that's up to them to have that conversation with family or friends or whoever, like, it's not, in a sense, it's only the pressure you feel you're putting it on yourself.
Exactly. Like, I think that actually true giving is when you make something or give something from the heart, like you're not buying the most expensive Rolex to give to your fucking, friend or something like that. Just like draw them something.
Are you saying that's an example of giving from the heart?
No, I'm saying like if it doesn't necessarily have to be. I'm saying like, you don't necessarily have to go buy a diamond ring for your girlfriend every time you want, like to, every time it's Christmas, or something like that. It's like you can do something from the heart.
Like Michael did, like the gift he gave to Oscar when he was
Yes, why not? Or just do Secret Santa and just like, actually just get one gift. Bird up for 2. Not a Christian, still gonna do Christmas though. Yeah, same here, dude. Same here. I'm not a Christian, but I'm still doing Christmas. Fucking love that shit. Watch This Space says that at work, these issues are loaded into pressure cooker. hoglighting. What? Hoglighting? I
It's
think
got
they
to
mean
be
highlighting, but maybe it's hoglighting. I don't know.
hog highlight. It's
Hog
got like
what?
gaslighting, or I don't know.
I don't know. People in the team that don't celebrate at this time of year, forcing them to either conform to a religion they don't believe or stand out as highly visible minority amongst their teammates who may well be
I
labeling
don't.
them
I
Scrooge.
don't think anybody.
Nobody's
I don't
doing
know.
this.
Come on, really?
Nobody's doing this. Wait, but I thought the Christians were a minority though. So like who's a minority then? I'm confused. So if the census is saying that,
Well, I think they're saying because less than 50% of people are Christians, that ought to, now we ought to rethink Christmas. But the reality is more than 50% of people, because even non-Christians celebrate Christmas. So
yeah, like me. That's
like
true.
a majority of people still celebrate it.
I love Christmas.
I mean,
Fuck these
I
people.
yeah, I mean, I think, in just a very like objective, fair way, like let's say like if Christmas did become that unpopular at some point, I don't want it to go away, and that's the thing where it's going to be up to people. I mean, it's up to you. Like if you want to celebrate something, you can celebrate it. You can, if you can find enough people, you can have a celebration or a party. If you can't, well, you can celebrate it on your own. But
yeah,
but it's like if it winds up going away, then it winds up going, there's no law. Like the thing of it is like, there's no law saying that you have to, that anybody has to celebrate Christmas. I've never put lights on my house. I've never done any of that stuff.
they're like,
I don't even have trees.
Dare
I don't even put up a tree.
They're like, how dare you bringing cheer to our life? Like, we don't want cheer.
I mean, and that's their right too, but it's kind of like a situation. I guess I just don't understand the article where it's like,
they're
it's
being
up to,
Grinches.
yeah, it's up to you. If you don't want to celebrate it, that's fine. You have the right to do that. And if you want to,
but you don't have to tell us not to celebrate it. What the fuck? Like, I mean, okay, like I get maybe if you're a retail worker and you're hearing Christmas songs for like 8 to 10 hours a day, that might be a bit of an issue. Okay, because I can feel that, because even me as as someone who loves Christmas, when I was working retail and I had to listen to like the same old Christmas songs for like 8 to 10 hours a day, sometimes I wanted to shoot myself in the head afterwards.
and I think it's a good 2 months at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get that part. So maybe I don't know.
A month and a half.
Maybe like alternate between Christmas songs and regular music.
Something, yeah.
So people don't go crazy. But that's the other thing too, is like the idea that they say, like, for example, that people don't celebrate their own religion like as much. I call a bit of bullshit on that, because like even like, I mean, especially in Canada, I mean, I don't know about Britain, but like in Canada and like other places, like every time if it's Chinese New Year, if it's Persian New Year, if it's like whatever, like some
it's not
other
like they're
New Year,
exempt from.
Yeah, like
we're not living in a totalitarian state where there's like this. It's up to people to keep up traditions if they want them.
Yeah, but I'm saying that those things are definitely celebrated in Canada.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
I was like, they celebrate it, and then people also celebrate it. Like they're like, oh, it's Chinese New Year, so we're gonna like hang out and like do Chinese food and like have like this whole, like, it's like a thing in Canada that people like get involved in. Or like Persian New Year. I mean, even fucking Justin Trudeau comes out and it's like, hello, like, happy Persian New Year's, like happy Eid, like, they're saying that kind of stuff now, like all the time. So it's like, it's not like it's not actually happening. And like you have even political leaders come out and say like, happy Eid or happy Hanukkah or happy this or happy that. It's just like, what else do you want?
Yeah, I don't, I feel like this is one of those like clickbait BS articles, because I mean, what are they saying? That other people should be forced to celebrate, what you're celebrating? Like if it's a minority religion or whatever.
Right.
I mean, this is just doesn't really make to me. It's kind of like, and again, if Christmas wound up dying off because people just stopped celebrating it, well, in that sense of like, the market determines the market, it deserves to. You know, it's like if people don't want to celebrate it anymore, I mean, you could think that's wrong, but there's just simply not enough enthusiasm for it. So hence it's not happening. You know, it's like,
yeah, Bradley Burnett, get your enthusiasm together like your wife. And I'm glad your wife made you do it. However, my husband is one of those people that's like, I'm not doing shit. Like, I don't care. I will not set up lights.
Yep.
I will not decorate the tree.
Yep.
I will not do any of the things that you want me to do, but I will enjoy it. Like, once you do it all, I will enjoy all of it. So I do everything. And then he just sits there and enjoys it. And I'm fine with that because I enjoy doing it. So, like, you know, we make a good team in that sense. Like, it's fine. It's not like he's like, oh, I hate the lights and I hate the cheer and I hate the fact that my house looks like Santa Claus threw up in it. But, you know, it's fine.
Well,
like,
he's not saying that you can't do it.
Yeah.
And you're not making him do anything.
any of it. No.
Yeah. So
No.
it's like, that's a good balance, though.
I mean, hate cheer.
Bah humbug.
It's like literally that. I swear this is what this article is like. I hate love and cheer and puppies and like Santa and like cookies, gingerbread cookies and snow and just all the great things about Christmas.
Well,
Like,
that's the funny thing where those are like, you know, if you think about it, like the true meaning of Christmas, but then we have this like peripheral creation of these other things, you know, that are expanded off of that, that don't necessarily really have anything to do with the original meaning, but now these are like the sensory sort of things tied to Christmas.
When you say the original meaning, do you mean like the birth of Christ?
Well, it's called, you know, Christmas, you know.
Yes,
so,
but is that what you mean, like the original meaning?
That's what I would say.
But the original
I'm sure
meaning,
people, well, I know what you're gonna say.
The cheer is coming because the Lord has come, right? Like, I mean that like people would be happy that Jesus is born.
Yeah, and I'm not like, look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with mistletoe or lights or anything like that. But it's funny, it's just like one of those things like where you could take Make America Great Again, you know? Like that means a lot of different things for a lot of different people.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And you know, I think Christmas too, like people's individual associations with the idea of Christmas, it just has a lot of different you know, there's a lot of you know, nostalgic things connected to that, where, you know, a big part of it is the tree. A big part of it is, you know, gingerbread, lights, et cetera, you know? And so it's kind of interesting how, you know, Christmas means a lot of, it can mean different things for different people.
That is true.
You know, or it's like, yeah.
And this is an interesting question by XSL for $2. Says, should Christmas Christmas considered cultural religious? Cultural, not religious. Should Christmas be considered cultural, not religious?
I think so. Well, I think in your case, Nina, where it's like you're not necessarily Christian, but you still, you know, you love these aspects of, you know, Christmas.
Yeah, and I think Christianity has a lot of good lessons, and I like celebrating those things, like do unto others, and like, you know, like the good lessons of Christianity should be celebrated. Like, you know, don't judge people, and, you know, don't throw stones, and all, you know, all those, like, you know, all the good lessons should be celebrated, and it should go on, even if you're not a religious person. I think Christmas should be celebrated in that sense. And if you want to go like really authentic, like winter solstice, like, come on, like that's just be like, okay, like I'm not going to celebrate Christmas, but I'll celebrate like the longest night of the fucking year, you know, like, and when the daylight comes again, you know, you don't have to be a bitter person. I don't know. But should it be? I don't know. Should be cultural and not religious. I mean, technically it is religious. So
I think the
birth of Christ.
Well, I think it can go, you know, I think it can go either way. Like, I don't want to say there's like two different types of Christmas, but, you know, Like there's in a
But
sense
there
they should
is,
both be.
John. But there is two different types of Christmas.
Yeah.
You're right about that. And also I would say even like I would take it a little bit further and say maybe there's even three different kinds of Christmas, because there's like the regular, like, Christianity kind, and then there's like the Catholic Christianity kind. Like there's like in Mexico,
Sure.
like the celebration of like the birth of Christ is like a whole ordeal. Like it's not just, it's not just like Christmas, like, you're done. It's like it's weeks, it's like an actual religious thing, and it's very complicated, and they don't drink, like, that's not, I don't know, it's very that in that sense it's very religious and like just done.
Yeah, but like the icon, like iconography.
Yeah. And like,
Well, and then-
they have this thing where they like carry like the baby and stuff. Like it's
right.
weird.
Very
Like, they have-
ritual, like these ritualistic things going on.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. Even if you go to like a Protestant church, and even within Protestant churches, like a Christmas service could be very different, even within them. But then even a Catholic service too, very different vibe there.
Mhm.
And so it is interesting how, depending on where you grew up or, what kind of household you grew up into, just how different even the Christmas experience, what it means or what it could be to different people. Yeah.
So you never put up lights? What kind of Christian are you? I'm just joking.
Well, I mean, I think growing up, I think we did, but
Do you have a tree? Like, do you at least have a tree?
No, I don't do it.
Not even a mini one?
No. I do have something my grandma made, and it's just like this little little box where it's kind of like a little manger set up, and there's like
It's
a
like
little
a little,
tree.
I know what you're talking about.
So
Okay, wait.
I'll put that out.
Wait. Okay. Hold on. John, what if you have kids? Are you going to do Christmas then?
I mean, if my wife and family want to do it, then we'll do it. I'm not like, I'm not opposed to it, but I'm more, I'm just kind of utilitarian in the sense of like, I don't really.
Are you just lazy and you don't want to do like the
No,
setup?
It's not lazy. It's just, I guess I don't really see a whole lot of value in it, but if it's a traditional thing, or it's just something that, again, if it's really important to, my wife and it becomes like a tradition or whatever.
But wouldn't you want it to be important to your kids?
Well, I think the meaning is more important than the peripheral stuff. I feel like if, that of course is more important.
Okay. So would you count the be good all year so you can receive a present thing as peripheral, or like encouragement for your kids to be good and actually like, learn how to behave better?
Well, if we're talking about Christian theology, I mean, if we really want to get into
we're talking about Christmas.
Well, I mean, it's tied to it, because really the birth of Christ is, theologically speaking, even the whole idea of being good, that is the idea of being good. If you could be good, you wouldn't necessarily need somebody to atone. You wouldn't need Jesus to atone for your sins.
Sure, I could see that.
And so it's not, Christianity isn't a religion based off of merit, but it's a free gift. And that's what, that's a big separation between a lot of religion. Even.
So okay, all I'm hearing is I don't believe in Santa, and my kids aren't going to believe in Santa. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Here's the thing: I'm not gonna lie to my kids.
So you're gonna tell them that Santa's not real.
I mean, this is all very hypothetical if I ever do have kids, but I would never. No, I wouldn't lie to my kids. I feel like that's a bad precedent to set. You're just setting them up for, a lack of trust.
Like
you know?
disappointment.
Yeah, because they're going to find out from somebody else that Santa isn't real, or they're going to grow up and have enough sense to realize that this whole idea. And really, I think,
But
too,
don't you think you're treating them unfairly because they're gonna see all of that in school and stuff, and then they're gonna be like, well, my mom and dad don't give a shit, and then they're gonna go ruin it for all the other kids.
No, I don't think it's. I mean, there was kids in school that would say that Santa wasn't real, and I was.
Your kids are gonna be that kid.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna tell my kids to ruin or rain on anybody's parade, either.
My kids are gonna totally be celebrating Christmas if I ever had any. Not that I would, but if I did.
I just think it's the whole idea of again propagating. I just don't think it's good to propagate lies, whether they're big or small or whatever, especially to kids, and you're a parent.
Right. They'll find out. They're not dumb. They're gonna
No,
find out.
I know they'll find out, but then they're gonna. I think it undermines too, like you've been teaching them about God, and all of a sudden it's like, well, if they lied about Santa, maybe they lied about God too.
But it's not about that though. Then they realize that you were Santa all along, and that everything is hard earned, and it actually comes from gifts. Like gifts come from love and effort, and like that. It's not that Santa wasn't real; was that you were Santa Claus. Like, and it's not that you lied to them; it's that you just basically taught them about magic and different ways of looking at things.
Well, I feel like this is a thing where it's kind of just been normalized, and so we don't really see the strangeness or the oddity of it, But I think it's like when you really stop and think about it, it's like, well, why do we do this?
Well, I mean, don't you okay, here's the thing. Do you think, okay, hold on. Let me rephrase this question. I mean, clearly you don't believe in magic, right?
Well, I guess what are you saying is magic? How would you define magic? Is it are we talking sleight of hand? Or are we talking real legit supernatural?
Yeah, I mean,
are we talking
what do you think is a Christmas miracle? What do you think that means? Other than the birth of Christ.
Yeah, I mean, what I guess I would ask you, what does that mean for you if I'm going to try to understand this?
Well, I mean, it's what does Christmas mean to me?
Well, what's Christmas magic?
Christmas magic is the time when, I mean, it depends on what level, right? It's the time when everyone is there's this shared camaraderie of, it's a time where it's the coldest on earth, it's really cold, it's winter time, but somehow in the house and in our environment and our the love between people keeps everyone warm. And I think that magic is the idea of being able to share love and giving and receiving that as well. The gift of love is basically what I think Christmas is about, kind of.
Yeah, well, yeah, I wouldn't say that's. I get what you're saying by calling it magic, So yeah, I'm not.
Body heat.
If you really, here's the thing: if you really turn on the thermostat and everybody gets cold, I don't know how much Christmas magic you're gonna have going on there, but I understand what
you can make a bonfire.
Well, I think, I think that's the creation of, having, creating really good family traditions, and and that's not to say that you can't have those nice sensory things like lights and Christmas candles and all those things come together to make those things very memorable and great for kids.
Okay, now having said all of what I just said,
yeah,
I also believe in Santa Claus. And by that, I mean that I think that imagination and using your imagination and stuff like that is important for a child's development. So I think that the story of Santa Claus is really cool, and it's not really about lying to kids, more about helping them understand that that it could be like about magic, like understanding what magic is and like how it's not necessarily like a lie because your Santa is just perceived as a different way. When they grow up, they understand that. And then
I
they're
mean, that
like,
kind of
oh,
flies in the face of, I mean, if we're just talking about like empirical logical reasoning,
why?
Just because you're not Santa.
But
because
you are.
You're telling them that there is an actual like obese, overweight guy who somehow magically can fly. Like, well, not only that, he can actually go down
He has
chimneys.
reindeer that
Yeah,
fly.
Flying reindeer. He flies all over the entire world and gives presents. You know, already like kids are kind of smart enough to be like, you know what, this sounds like a bunch of bullshit.
Exactly.
But mom and dad keep telling me it's real.
No, but that's the thing. It's not like, okay, when your kid starts saying, hey, I think this is kind of bullshit, you're not like, no, I'm reinforcing this. You're right. It's not like, you know, you're not right. Like it's bullshit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you keep reinforcing it, that's different. But like, if they start
But you have
calling
no
you out,
choice, though.
yes, you do. You're like, oh yeah,
Well,
by the
no.
way.
Once you've kind of like most parents, though, once they've gone down this road, you know, they don't all of a sudden break down to little, you know, Johnny and Susie and say like, you know what? Yeah, you're okay, kids. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know. I believe in Christmas magic. And you know what? This exactly for that night, it is real to them. Mark, you are right.
Of course it is, you know, because, you know, kids will believe anything you tell them.
Oh, they're so cute.
Yeah. And I feel like that is a, well, you know,
Santa's real. Thank you, Jane.
We're not having any kids here listening. But,
I am a kid. I don't know what you're talking about. Mark, thank you for the $10. Says, hey guys, just got home. Always great to see both of you. Totally looking forward to Christmas. John, oh my God, bah humbug. Tell him, Dina, JK. It's the meaning behind it that is important. I agree. But this is
we'll see, Mark.
I mean, really interesting conversation. Actually, that was really fun.
This could have been a whole show. Actually,
I know. I mean, we'll do it again. That's fine. I love Christmas, but you feel
but I think
the same about Halloween.
But ethically, you know, you know, this isn't to say that anybody's perfect, that nobody should ever lie, or that nobody could, you know, I mean, it's very hard, you know, to be like Jordan. What I'm saying is like Jordan Peterson, you know, he's even expressed this idea of like, you know, honesty.
Okay.
And it's, I think it's harder than you think until you really are trying to be as honest as you possibly can be, you know, where you're not necessarily trying to, but anyways, I'm just saying ethically, again, is it a good, like, I feel like you kind of in a sense, and again, it can be all under the guise of all of these things that you're saying, but you set a bad precedent for your kid, and you're basically telling your kid one way or the other, whether you like it or not, that lying is okay under some type of circumstance.
But lying is okay until some types of circumstance.
I get what you're saying, you know, in the sense of like, you're not, you know, perhaps wanting to hurt somebody's feelings. If your wife asks you, do I look fat in
not just that,
this, you know,
like if you have the Nazis knocking at your door,
and
absolutely. You say, you know, and they say, hey, do you have any Jews hiding in your attic? And you say, hey, no, I don't. But
no,
you do.
And I 100% believe that there's an ethical case for lying, and those are the cases where you would, you know, it's perfectly fine to lie, and you should lie, because the people that are against you have terrible intentions, right? They want to kill other people, they want to hurt other people, and so I do believe in those cases, like, yeah, it would be stupid to just be straight up honest to.
So you would be okay if Santa was about to get killed, and then we would like lie about how he's real, and then
Santa doesn't.
That's okay.
You know, if you want to talk about maybe like there was a historical person, you know,
Saint
Nicholas, yeah,
Saint Nicholas.
But I mean, for all intents and purposes, we know that Santa isn't real, and so
all right. since you're bringing realism into it, so then are you gonna like start telling the story of Saint Nicholas and like the history of Saint Nicholas? Is that the kind of thing that you're gonna go into with your kids, like to actually talk about Saint Nick? Because I actually found out last week that they found his resting place. You could actually go there now.
I mean, I think for historical context, you could talk about it, but I don't really. Again, it's like a tale of two Christmases. Which one is more? What message is more important? But
would you tell your kids about Saint Nicholas instead of Santa?
I mean, I think you could, obviously acknowledge that, yeah, there was somebody like this that, they went around giving gifts, and this is part of the meaning or part of the reason why, there's this Christmas tradition. I mean, really, Jesus wasn't even born December 25th. Obviously, this is a
true.
day. This is a day designated by, I think the U.S. government was actually the one who started it.
Yeah, I think so.
So,
I mean, January 5th or something like that.
I mean, there's a lot of,
Like
I'm sure there's probably a lot of speculation, a lot of different, or at least a few different opinions on it.
Yeah, it was something different though. It was like, I don't know, that's why a lot of the weird other Catholic, they don't they celebrate like January 5th or something like that?
I think it's the Orthodox.
The Orthodox one?
Yeah.
Okay, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Bird Up for 2 says Santa's real. Tim Allen wouldn't lie. I agree, Bird Up. I mean, I'm here. I'm representing Santa. Look at this place. Do I look like I believe in Santa Claus, okay? I've been a good girl this year. Santa's always been very good to me. Let me just say this, okay? Santa's always been amazing to me. Who Krampus, the goat head demon? Yeah, Krampus is the mean one. He's Santa's enemy. Hey, you know what? That would be a cool movie. Like kind of like Jason versus Freddy, but like Krampus versus Santa. Like that'd be amazing. I'd be like, go Santa. Although I heard that there's a really good new violent Christmas movie. It's called Violent Night.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I want to go see that, but I don't know if I want to pay to go see it in the theater. I kind of wish it was like hitting the streaming services. So
it might hit it.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on who the distributor is, but I feel like too that's kind of like what Mel Gibson had. They had the Santa movie last year.
Yeah, Fat Man, that was good.
Yeah, so they're taking. I feel like this is kind of a different take, but it's.
Yeah, Gary said it was like
subversive.
Home Alone, but like the violent version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Violent Night is by Perfect World Productions and 87 North Productions. So it's like no name company.
It might come out on HBO Max in time.
I hope so.
Yeah. If it's been
I don't
released
know.
already, it's possible.
I don't know if I want to go to the theater for it. Mark, thank you for the $5. Says Curtis thinks that John is a real Santa and he's just trying to throw us off. You're right.
What's up,
Thank you,
Curtis? Good to
Curtis,
see
I
you.
think you cracked it. You're right. I could see it. But no, John's not fat enough.
Well, maybe
Maybe
I don't
he
know,
gains
maybe-
magical weight on that one.
or maybe it's just a myth, maybe Santa could be can we have more diversities when it comes to Santa?
Oh my God, that's funny that you say that.
Why does Santa even have to be a man?
Oh my God, that is so funny that you say that because there was like a really funny episode.
It's gonna happen. It's already
Fresh
happened,
Off
right?
the Boat. No, first of all, it's already happened. There's a movie called Noelle. It's Disney's Noelle, and it's about like female Santa, which is really stupid.
That would figure.
I hate that movie. It was fucking terrible. But the episode of Fresh Off the Boat where they're talking about so Fresh Off the Boat is about a Chinese family in the 90s, right? And it's like based on a true story because it's based on the guy's memoirs. And it's really good because he talked about how his mom dressed up like Santa Claus, but like named herself like something else. Like she was like the Chinese Santa, but like Chinese, like the Santa was like a woman.
Sandra Claus.
Yeah, it was like something. I forget what it was. If you guys have seen it in the chat, let me know. But that was so good. That was like the only time that I like didn't have a problem with a sex swap Santa. Yes, Disney made an ultra feminist movie, not JK. Yes,
Shocker.
I
Spoiler
know.
alert.
It was called Noelle. It was fucking terrible. I wanted to kill myself after I watched that movie. I can't believe John, what's his name? John
Leguizamo?
Zamo, yeah. I can't believe he's in that movie, the Violent Night movie. Because he's been such a fucking weirdo recently. It's just like, stop talking about Mario and Luigi, dude. Like, get over yourself. Bird Up for 5 says there needs to be a Christmas horror movie about what? What is that? Zwarte Piet? I don't know what that means. Santa's evil counterpart in the Netherlands who would drag bad kids to Spain and leave?
Wow. It's like Bizarro Santa, maybe? Like, or the Santa's villain.
Well, that's kind of
Arch
like what
nemesis?
Krampus is. He's evil. Hold on. So wait, this other thing is in the Netherlands. Where's Krampus from then? Yeah, he's from the Central and Eastern Alpine folklore. You know what I'm talking about, right, John?
I think I've seen this. Yeah.
He's like a demon. He's scary, Santa. He steals kids. Look it. He's evil. They made a movie about this guy.
Yeah, that would be the horror film for sure.
There he is. Krampus Unleashed. There was a new one too. This is the old one. There's a new movie about him too. It's like had like a pretty big budget.
Does he like eat the children or what?
I think so. I mean, look at these pictures.
That's what I would gather.
Yeah, he would steal them and eat them.
Man, brutal.
Yeah, some of the stuff has like really dark.
Is that like it's like Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah,
was
Germany.
Like Germany. Yeah. I feel like Germany's got quite a few of those.
Why are they so weird in Germany and their weird monster stories?
They really wanted to scare the shit out of those kids.
I know, right?
Like, to scare them into submission, you know? You better listen to mom and dad or Krampus is going to get you.
And then that evolved to like the coal story. I'm like, how do you get coals from like, this guy coming in and stealing these kids and eating them?
Maybe,
like,
I don't know. Maybe we could, maybe we could use a few Krampus. Maybe we could balance it out here a little bit in the US. Maybe we've got a little bit, maybe these kids are a little too spoiled.
Oh my God. John went from I don't put up my Christmas
kidding.
trees to we need more Krampus.
No, if I'm not gonna lie about Santa, I'm not gonna lie about Krampus. All right.
How are we friends? It's ruined my life.
Hey, Paul McCartney needed John Lennon. Okay.
That's true. That's fucking true.
And vice versa.
All right, let's talk about not pigs. Bears doing
Let's
coke.
talk about pig's blood.
Let's talk about pigs doing coke. I mean, not pigs, bears.
That'll be the next film, Cocaine Pig.
It's getting late. I can't think anymore. Okay, wait. I had the trailer pulled up.
Yeah, I mean, I think these kids are just a little too emboldened nowadays. They're a little too entitled,
I mean,
this is what happens when
disagree.
you tell them that you'll be if you're bad, Santa's gonna leave coal in your stock, and the kids are terrible the whole year round, and they still get presents, and they don't learn anything from it. At least if you're gonna lie to your kids, at least be stand true on the
I agree with that
promises.
If they're shit kids, Christmas should be canceled. Like if you have a kid that you tell them, hey man, Like you've been a bad kid all year, and if you don't fucking ship shape, like at like 6 months time,
Yeah.
if you don't ship shape,
Here's
Santa's
a
not gonna
lump
come
of
this year.
frickin' coal.
If he does come, he's gonna leave you a coal. Like you need to calm the fuck down, and then go through with it. I'm telling you, kid's gonna behave next year.
It's like that gift when Michael gave Toby that stone. Or that what was it, like had a note on it or something?
Yeah, it had a note. What was it? What was the note?
What was it, like swallow this or
Oh my God.
forgot what it was. I'll see if I can. Maybe we'll end the show on that.
Yes, let's do that. Oh my God, I love The Office. Okay, we're gonna watch. We're gonna watch Cocaine Bear now. Shit, kids. All
It's a
right,
Christmas movie we've all been waiting for.
fucking Cocaine Bear.
Medic! Oh, Jesus. What is that?
The part is that at first when I started like watching this,
Oh my gosh, this is the guy. Have you seen this guy on Twitter? He's a comedian.
yeah, this guy, yeah,
He does the retail.
the retail guy.
yeah,
That's him.
Yeah.
You're right. Oh my God, I love the retail guy. I was like, I knew this guy from something, and then you just said the retail guy, and I'm like,
I'm like, all of a
"That's
sudden,
where I
I'm
know
like,
this guy from.
yeah.
That's hilarious. But like at first when I was watching this, I was like, is this like a comedy movie? And it's like it kind of is. Like this is a comedy. It's not like a serious movie. This dude is
what's-
from The Wire.
And they got the chick from Felicity.
Yeah, the Felicity chick.
Wow.
Carrie, whatever her name is. I think this is gonna be a box office hit too. I mean, the trailer already looks insane. Like at first, I was like, "This is gonna be the stupidest thing ever," and then I saw the trailer and I was like, "Okay, that looks actually really funny."
I'll be shocked if this movie doesn't do over at least 100 million.
This movie is gonna do way better than like any Marvel, anything that's come out.
I don't know about that, but I'm saying for
I
probably
mean,
it
in
looks like it's
reception.
probably a low budget, fairly low budget film. I think.
I mean, in reception, like people are gonna be like, "This was a great movie."
Yeah, because I mean, your expectations really aren't that high.
Exactly.
They're you know.
I think a lot of people are gonna go see this too because it's Ray Liotta's last film and it looks funny. Oh my God, do you remember when you told me about that movie Night Bitch?
No. How'd I forget this?
This was like a few years ago. You know, I never
Night
like
Bitch?
what happened to that movie? Because that never came out.
It probably did, and nobody ever knew about it.
Did we ever A Night Bitch? Did it ever come out?
What was this movie about?
It was supposed to be about that like dog like woman thing. Like what was it? Oh, there it is. One day the mother who was what? It was supposed to be with Amy Adams. A stay-at-home mom begins to worry that she may be turning into a dog. That was it.
Oh, okay.
What happened to this movie? Night Bitch. It never came out.
That's funny.
Did they just cancel it?
Well, I was trying to figure out how much Cocaine Bear costs. I think it's not really saying, but it can be presumed that Cocaine Bear is cheap enough that they don't have to break records to break even. Yeah,
I mean, I think it probably cost a bunch because the bear is CG. Scoot McNairy is the guy that we thought was that dude. So that's not that dude. He's like an actor.
Okay. Yeah, it looked like him
It's
for a
this
second.
dude.
Let's see.
This guy's
okay.
actually a good actor too. What did I see them?
I think that bear would have like crushed, probably crushed that guy.
Oh yeah, probably.
Like I don't, like how many, like he probably would have just died from the
Oh
weight.
yeah.
Night Bitch is a novel.
No, but that movie was supposed to be with Amy Adams. It never came out. Because I just saw the IMDb thing for it too. Night Bitch movie.
Distributed by Hulu.
Night Bitch is an upcoming film.
Amy Adams spot on the set of Night Bitch, October 12th.
Oh, so they're still making it?
So they're making it, yeah. It's probably set back because of COVID, maybe.
Yeah, probably what it is. Oh, yeah, it's based on the novel by the same name by Rachel. So it is a novel. I just thought the name was funny. Night Bitch. I feel like I'm Night Bitch because I'm always thinking of night.
Nina's gonna get like a poster in the behind her.
I am. I like the word Night Bitch. Okay. That's it. That's the show. We're gonna end on Night Bitch. Everybody, love you guys. Thank you for
Do we
being
want to
here.
show that segment of?
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's play that
just before we leave.
Yeah, let's go. Are you gonna ring your bell?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'll try not to play. All right, we playing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it.
I guess everything's okay. I made it this far, right?
All right, where's the part where he? Okay, here he's on.
Oh, there.
All right.
Oh, I love The Office.
Spirit of giving.
Oh my God. Okay, everybody, you guys are amazing in the chat. Thank you for being here tonight. Check out my calendar campaign. It's in the description and the pinned comment. And what else? John, tell everybody where they can find you before we leave.
John Talks and John Talks too. And John Talks Life. I think this year I'm actually going to try to. I don't want to make any promises, but I am going to try to be putting out videos on that channel. So
excellent.
Yeah.
And the links are all in the description, as well as his Twitter and Instagram, I think. Yeah, so everybody, you guys, the Lovable Christmas Story. We're gonna be reviewing that this Sunday with Jane Theory and Chris Script Doctor and all the good people that hang out with me. I think Scott's gonna be there. I think it's coming. XSL for $2 says my C cost half-hour discussion. I'm vindicated. Yeah, it was a good super chat, dude. It was a good super chat. Thank you for that. Bye everybody. You guys are amazing. John, you got a fever, I think.
I do have a fever. And yeah, the only prescription is more of you guys. Thank you for tuning in. We love you all. And we'll see you next time. Nina, great show. I don't know about you, but I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell. I gotta have it, baby. I gotta.
Good night, everybody.